Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, I'm happy it's Friday. How about you? You happy it's Friday?
Oh, no, I wish it was Monday. Love this job. Love hanging out with you guys every day.
At first, it was like, oh, he's being funny, sarcastic. Then he's just kind of mean.
No, now you look mean. I kind of flipped the coin around because if you loved your job and your coworkers, you would wish every day was Monday.
Why?
But
just
you
to
don't.
spend more time. I'm leaving it too.
Oh, yeah. Makes you look even
I'm not
worse.
even going to be here for the whole show. But you guys are going to want to stick around. We've got a great show planned for you. I've got a volleyball tournament I got to get to, and I have a volleyball game at 3:30, and I didn't want to take the whole day off. Normally, this weekend would be a travel weekend for us. We would, if you've listened to the show for a long time, I would travel to Peoria, Christ Lutheran School, Peoria, for a big tournament. The tournament that we used to go to, huge tournament. It's so old that I played at it when I was in grade school.
Dang, that's old.
Super old. And you're twice my age, so that's really saying something.
That's not true.
But last year was the last year for that, so we picked up the tournament and built a tournament locally. So if you're listening to this and you're going to be at a Lutheran volleyball tournament this weekend, might see you. I'll try to behave. Also, I wanted to mention Brew in the Lou is this weekend. It is tomorrow, and tickets are still available for that. Discount on your tickets if you buy them ahead of time. You can go to brewinthelew.com. I'll give you more information on that a little bit later in the show. So I'm heading out at 2, and the Annie Frey Show is taking over from there. But, I'm thinking about the news cycle as it has been churning along. And when I go into a Friday show, I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, what are some of the more fun topics that we can discuss? Like, what are the things happening in the news that are going to be a little more playful to talk about or whatever it might be? And some of these stories, like the Katie Porter story that we've covered, there have been videos that have come out since then. Get out of my effing shot, she says to her staffer. And the staffer's like, you're giving the wrong information. And she's like, but you're in my blanking shot. And she's like, okay, just get the point right. And then she moves out, and then Katie Porter's like, you're in my shot before, too. It's a rundown of it. And then we haven't talked about this at all, and I don't know. There's the New Jersey governor race, which a Republican might win. And I think I've heard people who kind of know. Joe Concha said on the show, and he's from New Jersey. He said the Republicans, is it Chitterelli? Is that how you say it? Something like
Chitterelli.
that? He's the Republican, and there's kind of a scandal going on with the Democrat candidate in that race, and she plagiarized something, or she did something in college. She wasn't even allowed to walk at college.
West Point.
And okay, well, that's not college. That's bigger than college. That's a problem. Don't you ever wonder how these people, the Katie Porters of the world, the whatever the lady's name in Jersey that's running, and then you go over to the Virginia Attorney General race, and that's the one that we haven't mentioned at all on this show. That Attorney General candidate, the Democrat Attorney General, texts back and forth with this person. I don't even know who the texts were sent to.
I don't either.
Old staffer or something like that? I don't know. But was essentially saying that the quote was, you've got 3 bullets. It's his opponent, who's a Republican, Hitler and Pol Pot. And he says 2 bullets in the head of his opponent. That he would leave Pol Pot and Hitler to take his opponent out with 2 bullets. And then he goes on to talk about his kids and stuff like that.
Oh, it's bad.
It's worse than bad.
It's bad because it's not just like, ooh, one really bad misstep comment. He did it over and over and over. Talk about, I wouldn't mind shooting him.
Couldn't possibly be misconstrued. It gets bad, and then he doubles down and he makes it worse. He's completely unapologetic, and he feels comfortable text messaging this. Like, you doofus, don't put it in writing.
Yeah.
All you do is screenshot this, and
You're
you
done.
got to own it. That expresses to me the great comfort that certain people, and I'm not going to say Democrats, there are Republicans saying stupid things in text messages, I'm certain of it, but what is the matter with these people where they get so comfortable in certain circumstances with this type of language, with that type of mentality? Like, I don't get it. Then the follow-up question is, with these races, now these are all high-profile races because they don't happen at midterms. They happen in an off year. So the Illinois statewide races will happen next year. You're starting to see candidates like Ted Dabrowski, Darren Bailey, and a few others who are running for governor in Illinois. So that primary is going to start cooking here pretty hot pretty soon. But it's a midterm election, so everybody gets into an even-numbered year and is like, okay, it's an election year. Is it a big one or is it a little one? And you have the Virginia, New Jersey situation, and it becomes an even bigger deal because everybody can just kind of foster over these smaller races that normally the entire nation would be captivated by. Why is it that the Katie Porters, the lady governor candidate from Jersey, who I can't remember her name, don't care, and the Jay Jones is the name of the guy who's running for the Democrat. He's the Democrat running for Attorney General in Virginia. Why are they like this? And how do they get this far? These are big races. California governor, New Jersey governor, Virginia Attorney General. I heard a conversation on Fox News earlier today where they were talking about these Attorney General races. They're starting to be as powerful almost as the governor races, like what we've seen attorneys general do across the country. Specifically, right here in the state of Missouri, Josh Hawley, Eric Schmidt, Andrew Bailey. I don't know what Catherine Hanaway is going to be doing, but it's probably going to change the face of the country for the better. That's just kind of the way that office handles its business. You know, Governor Kehoe and Governor Parson, they're working hard in the state of Missouri, but that kind of stays in the border of Missouri. What we've seen these former attorneys general do has an implication across the country. So Jay Jones probably does matter to us more than these governor races do. How do they get this far being like this? And are we only scratching the surface on what the majority of people who have made it that, like, maybe you have to be this way to get that far?
Ooh, I don't know. Otherwise, everybody would be like that, and they're not. These are specific individuals.
Some people wouldn't have the stomach for it.
Yeah. No, I'll say this. Of the AG candidate in Virginia, the guy that's talking about shooting his opponents over and over in text, and then the New Jersey governor candidate, those two I can see them squeaking through because
New Jersey and where?
The Virginia AG candidate.
The Democrat?
I could see them squeaking through because that's stuff that even if you vet them, you may miss something. And I'm not saying that's good. You know,
You're saying squeak through to get to the place where they are right now.
Yes.
Not in the coming election.
Correct.
Okay, I gotcha.
Correct. And they also may win the elections, though. I mean, we don't know. But they could squeak through to the place where they are now because the entire apparatus that's supposed to vet them could miss that stuff. It happens. They shouldn't miss it, but it happens. The Katie Porter one shocks me because she is like that all the time.
She's publicly known to have gone through anger management.
She also is just very unlikable to even the people in her inner circle. And then trying to present her as somebody else becomes difficult and hasn't worked.
I also don't think that she's tried to present herself as somebody else. She's had to go through anger management. She threw a boiling pot of potato water on her husband, who she has now since been divorced. She's known to be ragey like this. Does it not matter in California? Is that what it is?
That is what it is. Yeah, if you're in that deep blue of a part of the country, maybe even deep red, you could say the opposite, although I haven't heard that as much, that you just don't get vetted by the media. I can tell you that for sure, because that's how we got Kamala Harris.
That's really the essence of the entire Katie Porter story. She's like, follow-up questions? Who do you think you are? And she's like, I think I'm an investigative reporter.
I've asked this of everyone.
Yeah.
You're not special.
It's funny to me, in that back and forth between the investigative reporter and Katie Porter, how in doing her job, the reporter basically is like, I'm just asking you what I asked everybody else. It's like not even a tailored interview. It's not even something. She kind of tries to soften what she's actually trying to do.
Yeah.
And it's like the questions are cakewalks to begin with.
Yeah, let me try to help you here. You don't want help?
This
Let
is
me
going
still try to help
really
you.
bad for you. Yeah. I know a lot of people in elected office. I know a lot of, I guess I should say, elected officials, and they're good people. I know people who are in elected office who I would consider to not be good people. I know some background horror stories. It's, locally even. Actually, sometimes local politics, like local, is the nastiest of them all because it's super personal. It's like the story that we just heard from Trisha yesterday in Annie, Are You Okay? Where some cat put a Halloween decoration scene on his front yard, and it was body bags of people who are in their local government.
Yeah. Live down the street.
That's certifiable. Can you have a consequence for text messages like those are threatening text messages? Is it free speech? Is it, the speech is violent? Should there be consequences for that? In the political landscape, the consequence is you lose your election. And the people are like, we're not good with that. But at this, both sides need to calm down. Both sides need to chill out. I mean, when we talk about the temperature of the political climate right now and how it needs to simmer a little bit, people need to step back and let things cool off a little bit. The left all points towards Donald Trump. And I'm going to be honest, I don't see Donald Trump saying inflammatory things the way Republicans or the way Democrats are saying it. The one thing that and we're going to open the phones here in just a second, and I'll head people off, or maybe I'll just put the ball in the tee for our lefty friends who want to call in. People will probably cite Donald Trump saying that he could shoot somebody in Times Square and still get votes, still have the support. I think that is an incredibly dumb thing to say because we're still talking about it 10 years later. Like, that's how you know it was a dumb thing to say. It's still a chambered round for the left, so to speak, to try to fire against the president's administration. But when President Trump says that, it's not a personal threat. It's not a target towards a person. He was using a violent analogy to articulate the support that he has from those who love him and love what he's doing. Poor choice of words, but that is different than saying that you'd put 2 bullets in your opponent. Do you think Trump is hateful in the way he speaks? Do you think Trump is responsible for the rhetoric, the heightened violent rhetoric that we have right now? Is Trump responsible for it?
I don't think he's the genesis of it. He's a response to it. He is definitely divisive in what he says. And make no mistake about it. He is there to fight. But he's not hateful and inciting violence. He's not. And you know how I know? Because if he had, he would have been prosecuted for it 15 times already. They would have already had him. And they don't, because he hasn't.
Should he change the way he speaks?
Now, at this point, he is who he is. And that's actually what people like about him.
Would he be where he is right now if he would have been softer spoken?
No.
And less divisive?
No.
I mean, I think he rose to the moment.
He absolutely did.
And he beat it. And I don't think we've seen a lot of the Mitt Romneys of the world, straighten their tie and coif their hair and get destroyed by, things like binders of women. Is Mitt Romney a sexist pig? No. But they made him out to be because they could. And he didn't have a way to stop it. It's possible that at some sort, actually, I don't even think that would be accurate. It seems to me that I don't know if President Trump has ever been sexist, but he's made some comments in the privacy of one-on-one conversation that got recorded, Mr. Bush, that might make some of his behavior pig-like. So he's probably more guilty of what they accused Mitt Romney of in the past. But Trump was willing to fight back and say, this is what I want for the country. I want to reflect what the people want for this country, and I'm willing to fight for it. And the Republicans hadn't had anybody who was willing to do that. Jeb Bush was supposed to win that first election. Jeb Bush is it Mitt Romney part 2, maybe part 30, I don't know. But I still don't think, in the divisive nature to what you're saying, Ryan, I still don't think that Donald Trump speaks in a way at all that is on par with this type of violent rhetoric. I don't think they should even really be in the same conversation, comparatively speaking.
I will say that Republicans wanted a fighter bad. Enough that they were willing to look at Chris Christie for a while, even though he is not super Republican. So Donald Trump stepped into that moment because we were so tired of the message being controlled entirely by the left about people that we thought had good policy. They might even be really good people, good guys, whatever. That we were just sick of the narrative, and he was a narrative buster. And all this other stuff is just bonus. The fact that he actually is good at negotiating peace in the world, the fact that he's actually good at running an economy, that's great. But what got him there was the fact that he was a fighter.
Let's take phone calls on this. 314-241-9797. I want to know what you think about the temperature of the political room right now. Do Republicans carry some of the responsibility in calming that, in cooling that? Is Donald Trump responsible for inflaming it? How do you feel about where Republicans need to be a part of cooler temperatures prevailing so we can get back to the issues of the day? Maybe it's never going to cool down. Maybe this is just the world we live in. 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Give us a call and tell us what you think. We'd love to have you on the show next. The YouTube live chat poll: how do you predominantly consume the Annie Frey Show? Radio, the Audacy app, podcasting, or the Annie Frey YouTube channel? We'll be right back.
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Everything is alright. You kiss and tell me everything is alright. Can I get away again tonight? The only one who could ever reach me.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Add the S to Home Shield Foundation Repair to get the website. When you are surveying your basement, maybe you're looking at a new home. Maybe you're looking to move. Maybe you're looking to sell your home, whatever it might be. If you've got basement walls that are bowing, you know that it's going to need to be taken care of. A lot of times this might happen if, like, mom and dad are living in an older home and it needs to be cared for. You want to fix it, but you don't want to overspend and you don't want to underspend for a solution that doesn't actually solve the problem. Well, that's where Matt Hayes and Home Shield Foundation Repair come in. They are an A+ accredited business with the Better Business Bureau. They have hundreds of 5-star reviews on Google, so you can take my word for it or you can take their word for it. You can call them for your foundation repair concerns. Cracks in pavement that you need to be repaired. You can call them for basement waterproofing. You can call them for concrete lifting. If it has to do with foundation repair, Home Shield Foundation Repair is the solution for you. Call Matt Hayes at 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636. Tell him Annie said hi. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
This is Kyle Bush with Crinch Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. Life changes, divorce, loss of a loved one, or an inheritance. It can be overwhelming. We provide the resources, long-standing support, and thoughtful guidance you need to plan ahead. With our help and experience, you don't have to navigate these transitions alone. You can move forward with greater clarity and confidence. Your goals, Our mission, start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Servicing. Member FINRA/SIPC. Prince Financial Group is not a broker-dealer.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're glad you're here this Friday afternoon. The YouTube live chat poll for today: how do you predominantly consume the Annie Frey Show? On the radio, 97.1 FM, the Audacy App, podcasting, or the Annie Frey Show YouTube channel. Let us know what you think. We're going to we need to figure out what the markup is for YouTube votes on the YouTube live chat poll for today.
Ooh, that's true.
It's a little bit of like if you listen on the radio, you want to get on the YouTube, you got to show up.
Yeah,
if you're listening on the podcast, you're SOL.
I was going to say the converse is true with podcasts because you're hearing this after the fact and the poll's over.
When will then be now? Soon. So go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote, and leave us a comment as to why you listen when you do. We're just kind of paying attention to all the ways that people consume the show so we can make sure we're doing the very best job for you. We open up the phones, 314-241-9797. We want to know from you about the temperature of the political climate. It's a very, very, hot moment right now where there's a lot of anger, a lot of vitriol, and violence even. We were talking about the comments in the Virginia AG race where that Jay Jones, the Democrat candidate, sent text that was talking about putting bullets in the heads of his opponents. Like, this stuff is way far out of the realm of what is right and good. But the question I'm asking you, and we'll love to hear from you, 314-241-9797, is what responsibility do Republicans have in having caused this problem or in solving this problem? Would love to know what you think. 314-241-9797. Let's go start with David. David, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What are your thoughts on the temperature and what Republicans have done to cause it or need to do to solve it?
Hi, Annie. Gosh, I would think that most people believe that over the past decade we've had a definite upturn in the furnace as when it comes to political discussion. And the advent of Donald Trump's entry into the political fray, I think, has a lot to do with that, based upon the rhetoric that he throws out there. Yesterday, he threatened to arrest the governor of the state of Illinois and the governor of the state of Oregon when he incited people to fight like hell at a speech at the Capitol. That prompted people to fight like hell. So I think the temperature has gone up on both sides, but I truly think that it was Donald Trump that decided to raise that temperature.
So, David, let's go to the speech where he said fight like hell. I don't remember that specific quote in there, but totally believe that it was in there. But I do remember him saying to protest peacefully and patriotically. Does he get credit at all for saying that? Are you assuming he means one phrase but doesn't mean the other?
I think that people hear what they want to hear.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And people were mad and upset at the outcome of the 2020 election, and they just needed to be prompted to fight like hell.
So who do you think was fighting like hell on January 6th? Who are those people that you think were motivated by his words?
Well, there were a lot of people that were prosecuted for doing what they did. I think you could start out with that.
Not so much that, but like, how do you quantify those people? The people who'd be motivated by President Trump's fight like hell phrase and that would choose to not listen to him talk about being peaceful, talk about them being peaceful.
Well, I think his primary base were the ones that were completely upset with the outcome and they heard what they heard and did what they did.
So let me ask you a question, David. You're talking about the people who are upset with the outcome of the election. Hillary Clinton wrote a book about being upset with the outcome of her election, and she has since blamed Russia, James Comey, a whole bunch of other things. Is it okay to be upset with the outcome of an election?
I think that there's historical context to it. Having somebody write a book to express how they felt it went is different from standing in front of a mob and telling them to go and fight. So, yeah, I think that there's definitely a difference.
So the people who were at the Ellipse when President Trump was delivering that speech, you're defining those people as a mob?
I think that they were prepared. They had the equipment, and they didn't just go to the hardware store and buy material to put up a lynching of the vice president.
How many people were involved in that? Where was that? Where were those gallows erected? And was it in front of President Trump and through the Ellipse where thousands and thousands of people stood up? Are we talking about the same people? Are they all the same people?
Oh, I'm sure that there's varying degrees of which. But the point is, back to your statement, I think, is that the temperature has gone up. I think Donald Trump's foray into the political arena has a lot to do with that. And I think the way he speaks does incite people to focus on their passions, be it good or bad.
Does it bother you when President Trump comes out and talks about encouraging his supporters to bring a gun to a knife fight? Is that the type of thing that bothers you about what President Trump says?
I think those types of statements aren't necessarily something that get under people's skin, but when he starts communicating threats, specifically with individuals, whether they're in politics or not.
Like what kind of threats? And by the way, that was Obama who said, bring a gun to a knife fight, but we'll just move on past that. What kind of threats personal threats are you talking about with Trump?
Well, I think prosecuting people, saying people are terrible and they should go to jail, or that, they're stupid, or those types of elements. He says those on a daily basis.
Is it wrong in the country to say somebody's stupid?
The President of the United States, yes.
Go back and look at I think it was I can't remember what the specific date was. Did you watch the Red Independence Hall speech that Joe Biden gave and the things that he said about 50% of this country and the things that he called them? Do you remember that?
I recollect that there were some things that he probably shouldn't have said either.
Yeah. I think to your point, you definitely feel as though I'm hearing you say you definitely feel that Donald Trump is responsible for the temperature of the room and the rhetoric as it is. Do you feel like the Democrats, I disagree with you on that, but I respect your right to have that opinion. Do you think the Democrats own any responsibility for the moment that we're in?
Absolutely.
And how would you articulate that?
Well, I don't necessarily believe that one party or the other should. If one party indicates that they should bring a gun to a knife fight, that the other side shouldn't start collecting their weapons.
That was specifically Barack Obama who said that.
Yes, I know. But as I was saying, just because one side makes a statement that can be construed as being, insightful, difficult for people, that doesn't necessarily mean the other side should raise the temperature too. My point is that I think the foray into politics of Donald Trump, he's standing at the oven, turning up the stove, and that has caused other sides of the political spectrum to react to that.
So the actions of the people on the left who are committing violence, you understand the reactions that are happening, and it's because of the right that's pushing those people to behave that way.
I think there's probably some truth to that.
David, I like that you listen to the show.
I also would argue that the violence on the left, while there is definite violence that has occurred, it's not. There's violence on both sides that's elevated because.
Name a Republican that shot a Democrat for being a Democrat.
Name a Republican that shot a Democrat. Well, I don't know the name of the.
I could finish the segment by listing names of Democrats who have shot Republicans for being Republican, and it goes back years. It's not even something new. David, you and I disagree, but I think you've been able to speak here, your thoughts on this issue, and I hope you felt like you were respected in the conversation.
I was, absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Annie.
You bet. You call back again, and I appreciate you listening. I prioritized in this conversation about rhetoric being nice.
David's original point, I don't think is completely off base. There's a argument to be made that Donald Trump has turned the temperature up with the way he talks, but the outcomes, you just can't find them. I mean, that's the way you concluded the whole call there, which is to say, well, then what's the outcome of that? Aside from January 6th, which, by the way, I looked into, Kash Patel did confirm 250 plainclothes FBI officers were in that crowd.
Oh.
Nobody talks about that. But aside from January 6th, there really is not much of an example that you can bring up. And
also, no Republicans shot at Democrats at that point. But there was a Republican who was gunned down in the Capitol that day, and we have a lot of questions about that moment that we don't yet understand. And then there's this, and I'm calling Andy out on our YouTube chat. I just asked, name a Democrat or name a Republican who has shot a Democrat for being a Democrat. And Andy wants me to be specific. Which registered Democrat shot a Republican? As if the political ideations are in any question here. Andy, don't be so obtuse. You're better than that. I know you're smarter than that. We're going to take a break, and I've got Philip, Rich, Mark, and Angela holding on line. We've got two lines that are also waiting for Ethan to get their details from. Your full call's next. Don't go away.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. You know your trees can't talk, but if they could, they'd be calling me. From trimming to treatments, we'll make your trees the healthiest and happiest on the block. Call us before your trees start giving you the silent treatment. Check us out at hansenstree.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Dad, that's what Grandpa Rip always said.
That's right. 50 years ago, Grandpa started Grasser. And whenever a customer called, he'd smile and say, "Hey, it's good to see you."
Hey, it's good to see you.
It was his way of treating people like neighbors, not numbers. That's why we still say it today.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went, and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
Now that you've heard it, what are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed early bird specials $49.99. That's right, weight loss seminar, Saturday, October 18th at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration at 1:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
How do you predominantly consume the Annie Frey Show? That's the YouTube live chat poll of the day. I didn't mean to tip my hand to say you have to do it on YouTube. But that's going to kind of...
You can't vote on the radio.
Kind of affect things, I think, a little bit. Sorry about that.
Just yell it at the radio really loud.
We'll hear you. Radio, Audacy App, podcast, or the Annie Frey YouTube. That's your choices. Let us know what you think by logging on and voting on there, even if you're listening on the radio. 12:39. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. Still leading. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
I'm feeling like a star, you can't stop my shine. I'm flying cloud nine, my head's in the sky. I'm solo, I'm riding solo, I'm riding solo.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're taking questions right now over phone calls, listener calls. We like to open up the phones on Fridays anytime we get a chance. And I'm asking about the temperature of the room. Politically speaking, obviously everything is running really hot right now. What responsibility do Republicans have in getting us to where we are right now? And what responsibility do Republicans have in getting us away? Before I take Philip, Rich, Mark, Angela, and John's phone calls, do you have any thoughts on our last caller, David, who really said, wouldn't you say respectfully that his response was that Donald Trump is pretty much responsible for the moment we're in?
Yeah, I think that he was trying to connect those dots. And look, it's a different point to say that Donald Trump is responsible for violence. That's one point. I disagree with that. That Donald Trump is responsible for sort of turning up the temperature. I think you could make that case. But those are two different things. And I don't think you can always connect them as easily as he was trying to make them connected.
314-241-9797. We're going to get through as many phone calls as we can here. That last one went long, but David was being respectful and disagreeable, which makes for good radio. Sometimes if you want to call in and be disrespectful, that also makes for good radio, but you won't last as long as David did.
Especially if you use bad words.
It's pretty much what Ryan does to me in the breaks. All right, let's get to next phone call. He just disrespects me with FCC noncompliance.
I'm like, okay, now you're going to hear it.
And if you want to watch us on the YouTube channel, you can see him berate me.
My eyebrows go inward the minute the red light goes off.
Philip, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. Your thoughts on the Republicans' responsibility of how we got here and where we need to go. Thanks for calling the show.
Well, God bless you, Annie. You tried so hard to get David to see the light, and you can't see the light if you don't open your eyes. I mean, it just doesn't work. I think he and the Democrats are bamboozled. And everything that they have done in the past, all the stuff, a carefully chosen word, all of the stuff they threw at H.W. Bush, George Bush, Mitt Romney, all that stuff no longer works. So here's what they're doing. They're saying the same thing louder.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
That is a very good point.
Did you hear how he carefully chose the word stuff?
I appreciated that.
Compared to the way
You're
you
welcome.
talk to me, Ryan?
Stuff is just another one of those S words.
I love it. With an extra
Thanks a lot. I'll see you.
Thank you, Philip. I appreciate that. Let's go to Rich. Rich, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you think about the Republicans' responsibility and where we are and where we're going?
Well, in part, I think part of it is that, we're feeding it with President Trump's trolling, but I don't think that would be happening if it wasn't for the fact that some of these things are so absurd. I attended the Lech Wałęsa conference here in St. Louis last week, and they had a Q&A session at one point, and there were people who were obviously Democratic and stood up and said so, and they were asking and looking for advice from him with regard to how to protest, how to fight off the Republican anti-democracy. One lady stood up and actually asked, what do we do so that we still have elections in 2028 because he's going to keep those from happening. I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's really ridiculous, and the things that they believe are just absurd.
You know, I think, Rich, you're making a good point. about this, because where the left is right now, at least the activist left, I don't think everybody who votes Democrat is here right now. These are people who are impassioned with their side, and there's nothing wrong with being impassioned about, your political stance, your perspective. But they live in a reality that is so different than at least the one that I'll just speak for myself that I live in. I kind of liken it to, I think it was Louis C.K. who opened up a comedy special that he did, and he was talking about abortion. And he said, when you look, it's either a baby or an abortion is just another bodily function, just like he used a little more crass than I'm being right now. The other bodily functions that you have where you pass something out. And he goes, if you think it's a baby and you look at these people who are standing, very silently holding hands along the street and they're just asking for people to choose life. If you thought that people were murdering babies, you'd almost expect those people to be a little crazier than they're being right now. And when I look at the left and I hear and I talk to some of these people like you're talking about, Rich, who are saying that they think that we're done with elections, while you don't agree necessarily with the reality they're living in, it does actually offer a better explanation for their reaction and their behavior.
Right. And I take it back to who's actually funding this. This whole thing that's popping up lately is, who's creating this chaos? Who's fueling it?
Yes.
Where's this money coming from? And my, follow the money trail kind of idea is, well, what are they gaining out of it by fueling it? That's what we need to be looking at as well.
Great question, or great point, Rich. Thanks for calling the show.
Very true. We're talking about violence just in terms of basically like murder. There is a lot of rioting that we're not even mentioning here in terms of political violence.
It's been outranked.
You're right.
In attention. Rich is right. Let's get to Mark. Mark, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What are your thoughts on the temperature of the room right now and what Republicans have done or need to do?
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I think that basically Trump has just given people the backbone to stand up for what's right. And literally, I think Trump is trying to save the world. I'm not overstating it from my point of view. He's literally trying to save the world, and it's basically a fight between good and evil, and we're good and they're evil.
Mark, thank you for calling the show. I appreciate it. I mean, of all the weeks to say that Trump is trying to save the world, he picked a good one to call in and make that statement.
Yeah. Jim Talent said this a couple weeks ago. He said, Trump is radical toward normalcy because when you see the way he's doing it, boy, he is just bucking every trend possible. If he can do it, he's going to do it. But the things he's working toward are very, very middle of the road, back to normal American policy decisions. So it's a strange thing because you can defend him on policy so easily, and the way he does it is what's so radical.
And I am going to make a comment about what he said about we are good and they're evil. And I'm going to say there's nobody that is politically redeemed by their political policies. If we're talking good and evil, that's a choice in words. And I don't believe that people are redeemably good because they're Republicans or irredeemably evil because they're Democrats. I do believe that some of the policies of the far left progressive wing are evil, but I also believe that some of the policies of the moderate left are inherently evil. That doesn't make people who have voted that way irredeemable. The redeeming nature of all of these things will come from Jesus Christ, in my opinion, and it has nothing to do with political party.
That's where, this is where you get into worldview when you talk about what's good and what's evil, what makes somebody good, what makes them evil. And I think it's important to state that.
Can we take one more break? Because I still have Tim, Angela, and John. Can we do B or not the B at 1 o'clock?
How about if you take calls while I do the B and we just do two shows simultaneously?
One of our mics will be on and one won't.
Sounds fair.
Just sit over there.
Let Brad pick.
Do your thing. You go, Ryan, intermittently. Tim, Angela, and John, I want to get your phone calls in here next. Don't go away.
Time to do the things I like. Going to the club, everything's all right. Oh, no one to answer to. No one is going to argue.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. When you Google the Bagel Loan, you can learn about the details that I'm going to tell you here real quick. Stewie is a guy who can help you get a mortgage. He's my guy who has helped me get 2 mortgage refinances on my current home. Both times I lowered my rate. The second time I did a cash out refinance with the Bagel Loan so that I could fix the deck that looks over my walkout basement, that when you walked on it, it swayed back and forth. I needed the money, the equity out of the house to fix something on the house, and Stewie made it as simple as possible while including the opportunity to lower my rate once again. If you're looking to buy a new home and you've been recommended a lender, obviously check with them, but just give Stewie a phone call, send Stewie a text message, and just see if he can beat the offer that your other lender is offering you. $0 in closing costs. That means you go through that process, and at the end, thousands of dollars stay in your pocket. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
Join us October 23rd at Lit Cigar Lounge and celebrate 25 years with drinks from Lore Wine and Spirits, Old Dominic Distillery, and Rayburn Wines, plus live music by Pretty Weeds and food from Napoli Bros. Reservations at 971talk.com. Presented by Rhino Shield and U.S. Men's Medical Center.
Is your car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs? Ox gets it fixed? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-234-0633. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-234-0633. 800-234-0633. Or go to oxcarcare.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Drums, please.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So we're taking some phone calls here. We're going to wrap up this hour, getting to Tim, Angela, and John here, who are calling us. We've had a great spanning the political realm of phone calls, a lot of conversation taking place as well on the YouTube live chat, which is lively as always, all kinds in both places. Our YouTube poll for today: how do you predominantly consume the Annie Frey Show? Radio, the app, the Audacy app, podcasting, or the Annie Frey YouTube channel? Go vote, and we'll give you those results at the end of the show. I want to get to some phone calls here before we wrap things up. We'll start with Angela. Angela, thanks for calling. What are your thoughts on the temperature of this moment politically and what Republicans have done about it or need to do about it?
Hi, Annie. It's a great pleasure to talk to you today. My thought is that it's false to blame Trump for all the violence or just the increase in the rhetoric, because it started when he entered politics. I just want to remind everyone that it was September 9th, 2016. This was months before Trump won his first election, that Hillary Clinton rolled out her basket of deplorables comment.
Yeah.
She wasn't talking about a political rival. She was talking about voting citizens of this country.
Yes.
She knew exactly what she was doing.
Well, I think about the conversation we're having, Angela, is about rhetoric. And that is a great example of where rhetoric was done in an aggressive way, and such a stupid thing for her to do, to talk about the people, the voters, as opposed to the opponent. If she wanted to refer to Donald Trump as deplorable, she skipped right over Trump and called people like you and me deplorable. And that puts people on the defense over and over and over again. And, the Republican Party didn't see anybody who on the defense was willing to go back on the offense, and Trump did. And to your point, the Republicans kind of were backed into a corner, and they finally had a solution in Donald Trump, albeit an aggressive, divisive one at times.
And if I could make one quick point about January 6th, too, that wasn't just about the election. The year before that, there were months of riots, like 500 40-something riots
Yes.
fomented by Democrat leadership in the months prior at the height of the pandemic lockdown. That January 6th was not just about the election. That was about everything that happened in the year prior.
Angela, you upset me because I should have made that point to David. You scooped me on a good point. That's so smart. Thank you. We've got the smartest listeners out there. People look at January 6th and you know, the reference to the individuals who are at that, he called them a mob, and there was a mob, and there are still questions as to what that mob was actually made out of, but there were thousands and thousands of people who were there where he delivered that speech who never even knew what was going on the other side of the Capitol. So
absolutely.
Angela, thanks for listening. You're smarter than me.
Thanks, Annie.
Bye-bye. Let's go to John here real quick. John, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. Your thoughts on where Republicans are in this moment, this politically charged moment that we're in right now. How do we get out of it?
Hi, Annie. How are you?
Doing okay. How are you?
I'm great. I'll tell you what, the Republicans are handling it just the way they should, because the other side is just proven that they're wrong on every avenue. President Trump does not incite any violence. He's a very smart man, and you guys have a good show about him. And I'll tell you what, it's just we're in the Republicans and Conservative Party is in a great place. It's probably better than it's ever been. So thanks for taking my call and have a good weekend.
John, thank you for listening. I appreciate that very much. Let's get to one more phone call here before we wrap. Tim, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. How do you feel about the politically charged moment we're in and what Republicans have done to get us here or need to do to get us out?
Hi, how are you? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, too. Thanks for calling.
I think that for the past 2 decades, the Democrat Party has been able to say whatever it is they wanted, do whatever it is they wanted, because they knew that they were going to get the backup from the media.
Yep.
Which is why I'm no longer a Democrat. I'm voting Republican. I won't vote for another Democrat until the Democrats start to get their heads out of their butts. This is ridiculous. One thing that the Republicans don't do, they don't say they're going to kill anyone. They don't get on Facebook and say this person ought to be dead. They don't say that because I'm no longer a Democrat that I ought to be dead. But that's what I hear on Facebook, on Twitter from people, that because I'm a Republican or because I'm no longer a Democrat is really what they're upset with. Same thing with Trump. The reason why they're really angry at Trump, at least the Democratic Party, is because he's no longer a Democrat. He used to be one of theirs. He's not anymore.
Yeah. And it seems as though the party left you and left the president as well. And you guys have, in many cases, probably from a policy standpoint, stayed in the same place. But the party doesn't seem to want to reflect that any longer.
That's right.
Tim, thanks for calling the show. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
The YouTube live chat poll, how do you predominantly consume the Annie Frey Show? And, I kind of thought this when I put this poll up, but you'll see. We want to know, do you listen on the radio predominantly, like the most? Audacy App, the podcast, or the Annie Frey YouTube channel. And we know we got to figure out before we get to the results, like what's the markup for the people who are voting on the YouTube live chat poll that they watch on YouTube. It's double. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe you didn't know that you could listen to us in all of those different places. Maybe you weren't aware that we have an app and you can stream 97.1 FM Talk all the time. Now you know. AUDACY. You can download it. Get on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Vote in the live chat poll. We'll be right back.
Pack it up, pack it in. Sometimes it seems all lawmakers do is tax and spend. That's why Missouri voters passed the Hancock Amendment in 1980 to place a limit on what the government can do with your money. But the Hancock Amendment is outdated. It hasn't provided a taxpayer refund since 1999 and probably won't without reform. That's why Missouri needs a taxpayer Bill of Rights. Colorado has one, and taxpayers there have received more than $8 billion in refunds. It's simple. There should be limits on government spending and refunds when there's a surplus in the state budget. A taxpayer Bill of Rights constitutional amendment would help limit the growth of government. Missouri's budget has nearly doubled in the past 5 years, yet the state lags far behind states like Colorado in economic growth. The Hancock Amendment was supposed to protect taxpayers. Now it's time for an update and a taxpayer Bill of Rights. After all, it's your money. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
TheDiamondShop.net. You can visit The Diamond Shop online before you ever go visit them in store and see some of the beautiful, beautiful things that they have available for you. I've talked a lot about, different months they'll have maybe a birthstone special or a VIP offering where you can they get an extra savings on top of whatever sales they have going on at that given moment. There's a lot of beautiful engagement ring sets bridal sets that you can look at. And for men also, they carry a lot of really stunning, handsome pieces of jewelry that you might want to look at for someone special, maybe going into the holiday season or an anniversary that's coming up or to mark a special occasion. Beautiful watches. I bought my husband a tie restraint that they custom made for Jared. The Diamond Shop can service all of your jewelry needs, including appraisals, repairs, custom jewelry. Find them in Clayton if you want to go in store, but become a VIP online and check out their website right now at thediamondshop.net.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Tune in to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Audacy app.
Mass firings begin. Lisa Brady, Fox News. On day 10 of a government shutdown, the White House budget chief announcing that reductions in force, or RIFs, are underway.
An OMB source is telling us right now that not only have the RIFs begun, but that they are substantial, which means that during a shutdown on a Friday afternoon, whatever the White House considers to be a substantial number of people are receiving notices either from their HR supervisors or via email that their services are no longer needed by the federal government.
Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House, which had told federal agencies to submit plans for potential layoffs, in part targeting programs considered not consistent with the president's priorities. Federal workers are normally furloughed during shutdowns, not fired. A union representing federal workers announcing a lawsuit over the layoffs. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says it's time for Democrats to get a backbone as Republicans accuse Democrats of playing politics with the shutdown. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Republicans need to get serious and negotiate on health care funding. Republicans say the Senate should pass short-term spending to reopen the government first. A man accused of threatening to kill a conservative podcaster in the same way Charlie Kirk was killed now faces federal charges.
Attorney General Pam Bondi announced from Tampa the arrest of George Isabel Jr. She accused him of sending podcaster Benny Johnson threatening letters in the mail.
We've been living through a horrific cycle of political violence in this country.
The complaint alleges the letter contained graphic details about how Johnson would be killed. Johnson spoke out in Tampa as well.
This individual described orphaning my 4 beautiful children and widowing my wife with great joy.
Bondi said regardless of which political party threats of violence come from, prosecutors and law enforcement will hunt down those making the threats and hold them accountable.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
All is quiet with our weather for evening plans. Temperatures in the 60s, 49 for the overnight low, mainly clear skies. Friday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, 78 for the high in the afternoon. Friday night, some clouds, 58. Weekend, above average temperatures, but it's quiet. Saturday, sunny and 81. Sunday, sunny and 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If you need a new furnace, get Carrier Cool Cash rebates and 0% financing so you'll be nice and cozy as the weather turns. For a free estimate on a new heating system, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Man, I'm out of breath. You're never supposed to run to a microphone, but I just did that.
You did not run. You walked very briskly.
I did. It's more than generally
okay?
speaking, I just sit for 3 hours.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, I usually stand for the first hour, but Fridays are different. I have to stand to do interviews on this show because I'm engaged and I'm in it and I'm focused. And then when I talk to you, I sit down and stop focusing.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Don't want you paying attention to what I say all the time.
Those phone calls were good.
Yeah, that was a good hour.
Do you feel like, can the Republicans, like when your two kids are fighting? I don't know if your kids fight. My kids fight. But you kind of have a higher expectation for the older kids than you do the younger kids.
Yep.
And maybe the younger kids being super bratty and annoying. You still have an ask of the older kid to help your little sibling get back to good.
Yeah, diffuse the situation. You're better at it.
Yes, and you're not causing this problem, but you can kind of keep it from being resolved. And maybe you'd be right in principle, but not in action. I feel like this moment is kind of like that, where the Republicans do need to do something to participate in being a solution, which is maybe to look for opportunities to welcome a notable change. Here's a question. When the Charlie Kirk assassination is the punctuation on any questions that people have had about political violence, I keep hearing people talk about right-wing violence. What are you talking about? Let's just for a second imagine the pile of left-wing violence and right-wing violence that exists. Imagine when we talk about that specifically on this show in the last hour, that the thing that comes up is January 6th. That was 5 years ago. And I think there are some details about that are debatable. I don't think the facts are out there on either side, so I don't feel like I can prove a point with January 6th, but I definitely don't feel like other people who perpetually try to prove a point to me about January 6th. I'm not buying the premise. So, and I also know that I'm not going to change those people's minds about January 6th. I'm kind of willing to concede the point to the extent that I'm not willing to argue with it, because I still think there's a ton that we are definitely going to find out about January 6th. Is there another instance that January 6th aside? I mean, I'll basically call that a wash, because I think the left thinks one thing, the right thinks one thing, and I'm sitting here in the middle going, I don't know things about January 6th, and I need to know those things before I'm willing to throw my full advocacy behind a point on the issue. So let's let the Democrats put the J6, if you will, point in their column, and Republicans who want to fight over it can put the point in their column. I'm just going to walk away from that. What are the other examples where the political right has come out and been actively violent against the left?
I'm trying to think of notable cases, and the only one that I can think of here's how you sort of classify it in my mind, is you figure out, well, who's the victim of this crime? If it's an assassination, that's easy. You know who the victim is because they were assassinated. If it's a riot, you don't always know exactly because they might just be burned down random buildings. So if you do an assassination, you say, okay, who's the victim? What did they stand for? Because if you know that, then you know what they were trying to stop. Of the last several months, I can't think of really any that would be like left-wing, hard left, like they stand for this. There was the Democrat politician or politicians in Michigan. But that was a weird story because they were standing against their own party at the time. And so you never really got the motivation because they were not even like, it was like, why them? What is it about them? I think back to Dylan Roof, the mass murderer who shot up the church. But then you're like, well, he shot up a church.
That was a racial thing.
But it was a black church predominantly. So that
was in Charleston, I think.
And it was a while ago. That wasn't recent.
It was when Nikki Haley was the governor, because I remember reading in her book about having to manage that situation.
I'm looking it up. I think it says 2017 maybe. So that was a while ago. That's really the only one I can think of. And that one's weird because it's a church. You're like, well,
is that anti-religious?
Yeah. Is
anti-black?
I don't know. I mean, they say he was a neo-Nazi, so you could say that he had that motivation, that it would have been racial. But I'm racking my brain. That's the best I can do.
I don't want to entertain it, but could we, if we did the flip side, would we be able to rattle off some?
Yeah, we could, because there's been so many recently.
So my question then is, I'm really big on pointing out to people that, especially the people who might dip into our show, but they're not super into politics, like they can't name all the names or whatever. There's kind of an overlying sentiment that, like, if you're in Congress, you're corrupt. You're an egotistical, self-centered, corrupt individual. I think a lot of people just think that politics is so dirty and so gross that, like, once you've gotten to there, you're just like a certain type of person. We all in this room know Congress people personally and know them to be good people. I also know of people in Congress that I've heard stories of that I would maybe not have such accolades to say. But how many people, I talk about this all the time, how many people in Congress, 538 people in Congress, how many can you name? Off the top of your head, how many would you guess, Ryan, as somebody who's super plugged into this, 538 people, how many do you think you could name?
If I'm like doing an over-under, I'd say 50 if I really tried. And I think by the time I got to 30, I'd be struggling. But I could maybe get there.
That's a lot of people that you don't know that you're washing or painting with a big broad brush, right? If you're making a judgment about all of those people, the people you know are the ones who are always on Fox News or always on MSNBC or always on CNN or who are super active in their social media. So it's, even if you were to say that you could name 10% of the people, which is 50.
Yeah.
And that's you being somebody who's super plugged in. I wouldn't be surprised if I think that people would feel pretty good if they could name 10 people in Congress.
I would say that's above average.
Yes. So that going back to something we've talked about, especially since Charlie Kirk was murdered, I really want to be specific and I know that there have been times where I have gone against exactly what I'm about to say. So I will be the first to say I need to work on this myself. But when we talk politically and we talk about they're going to do it anyway. They're the ones who always this, they always that. We have to be more specific about who they is. Because they is probably realistically the amount of people who are exposed to the political environment. When we lob accusations about the big they, the all capital THEA they, most people are probably talking about 10 people who they know, who are obsessed with being in front of a camera, be it their own or a news outlet, or, being, on the radio or whatever. And, like I think about the people how many Congress people who have we had on the last 2 or 3 weeks? Probably 10.
All of the ones in our area.
And we specifically on this show reach out to people who are kind of connected to you as a listener. Could we reach out and try to talk to some of the bigger names in Congress who often, find themselves in a position to be in interviews, who are kind of high profile in the media circuit? We could do that, and I wouldn't tell any of those people no. But I think it's important that you, as a listener, hear from people who are representing you as a constituent, so that you can develop a further understanding and relationship there, including Wesley Bell, who has been on the show one time. Let's have him back on and talk about the shutdown, if it's still going on when I'm back next week. I don't think we're going to agree on it, but he's welcome here. When I use the word they, like I want them, the Democrats, to tone things down. I want them to be more vocal about saying that that Charlie Kirk's shooter doesn't have anything to do with them. I want them to say, he might have had some of the same policies that are attached to what we know about him now that my party does. But I'm going to rebuke him and his actions right now. Like, why wouldn't you want to get ahead of saying, I want nothing to do with that? And in the same regard, you've got this situation with Jay Jones, who's running in Virginia for the Attorney General. Do we have? I'm looking real quick here. Do we have the Winsome Sears clip from the debate? She and the governor, Spellberger, is that her name? Spamberger.
Span, I think with an N.
Nah.
Spanberger.
Did she? We know this detail. Did she marry into that name?
Yeah.
She must love him. They're asked at this debate that they had last night, do you stand by your endorsement of Jay Jones, who said these heinous things? And Winsome Earl Sears was the first one to bring it up. Like, the first question was asked of Winsome, and she's like, brief answer to the question, but I'd like to ask my opponent this question. And then she went straight into it. Probably a smart political move because Winsome is the underdog in the race. And it was painful to watch that clip because the Democratic candidate who had endorsed Jay Jones, who had said that he would like to put 2 bullets in the head of his opponent, including killing the opponent's children, she could not bring herself to say that she didn't support him. She said that the voters need to make that decision. And she was asked probably 3 or 4 times, maybe 6 or 7 times, about whether or not she was going to maintain her endorsement, and she couldn't say no. Why are we in a culture right now where that's a difficult question?
Because our worldviews are so different now between the parties that we view anything that our side does or the other side does. Because you could say we're talking about Democrats here. So if you're a Democrat, you could say, well, I disagree with what he said. But overall, I'll agree with the way he acts as Attorney General more than the Republicans still. That's how far apart we are.
Yeah. And she didn't even really take that out. I was thinking to myself, if the roles were reversed, how would I want my governor candidate that I really wanted to win because I don't want J.B. Pritzker to win again?
Right.
How would I want them to act? And, I think that the Democrat candidate, that woman, is thinking that she'd much rather be the governor with a Democrat attorney general than a Republican attorney general. And I'm thinking, you better just worry about being the governor.
Circle the wagons. That's what they're doing.
And if you want to make sure, do you want to risk losing the governorship and the attorney general position over these stupid comments? It's super simple to sit here on a Friday afternoon, to sit behind a microphone and be like, this is what I would do in that situation, when there's so much money and so much power wrapped up into this particular thing for these individual candidates. But one thing I've always appreciated about Trump is I've never, ever felt like he was programmed. Whatever Donald Trump did or said, I felt like that was Donald Trump. And if we elected Donald Trump, we'd get Donald Trump. I knew what we were getting ourselves into. Not even honestly in the first election, which I definitely voted for him against Hillary Clinton, but I had to do it reluctantly. But every other time that I've been able to cast a vote for him, I knew exactly what we were getting. And I knew that while it incites the people who just hate him for the sake of hating him, it would be better for the country for a whole bunch of different reasons. And I never felt like the things that he did or said were consequentially. I mean, I've talked to people recently who I dearly love on the left, and they are afraid that they are going to be approached in the night by the National Guard on their street. And these are not people of non-white culture. There are people who are terrified that they're going to be confronted by Donald Trump's troops and that we will never have an election again in this country. And I look at these people and I'm like, why do you think that? Like, what did I miss? I'm consuming media every day. Where are you getting that from? And then I look on MSNBC's website, and that confirms the entire worldview. And I'm always being kind of skeptical, like I'm trying to be critically thinking about, I look on Fox News, and of course they have conservative-leaning headlines, of course, and they cover, story selection can be influential as much as how you choose to cover the story. It's whether you even choose to cover it at all. But we are so far apart that there are people in the street right now, or there are people in our communities listening right now who actually don't know if we're going to have an election again.
You asked the question earlier, what can Republicans do to turn the temperature down? And you could say, well, what can Trump do? He could turn down the rhetoric. Now, I don't even know if that's, he got elected doing what he's done. Everybody knew who he was. And I don't think if he turned down, quote unquote, turned down the rhetoric, it would matter at all, because Democrats flame out at no matter what he does or says. It doesn't matter. So let's say he went, Trump 2.0, and he's very different this term. I think he already has been a little cooler headed this term. But even if he went even a step down, I just don't think it would matter. So then the question becomes, well, what can Republicans generally do to turn down the temperature? And I've been thinking about that since you asked that in the first hour. And I can't figure out how to do it without having a better message control, because the media really is what does it. Republicans could try all day to extend olive branch, say nicer things, whatever, condemn violence. They've done a lot of this stuff, and they've done it for a long time, and they just didn't control the message. The media landscape is shifting, but it's not there yet. The mainstream media is still the mainstream media. It has all the legacy names attached to it. So if the narrative is going to shift, it has to be the mainstream media that shifts it. I don't really think there's anything Republicans can do.
The one thing that I'm trying to do, and I don't know if it's going to do any good, but I'm trying to make an effort, is for the people in my life who I know are not loving this moment and, in fact, wrapped up in anxiety over it, I'm trying to let them speak to me so that they can convey their feelings, and I'm not trying to change their mind. All I want them to know is that I'm listening to them, that I hear them, and that I see them. And I know that they exist, and I want those people to understand that, like, I don't want you to bear the burden of this anxiety. I'm not bearing the burden of the anxiety you have because I don't see it that way, but I see that you are anxiety-ridden about this, and I don't want that for you. And that's it. There's no policy. I'm not changing your mind on policy because I can't change your mind on policy. But for those people in my life, like, if they bring it up, I am not fighting them. I'm pretty much just listening. And trying to listen in a peaceful way. I don't know if it's going to do any good.
Well, that is the answer to that question. And it may not be to do it the same way that you're doing it, but it's to do it individually. I don't think there's any sort of mass message that Mike Johnson can get up on Fox News and say that it'd be like, oh, there it is. There's the key to turn the temperature down the nation.
I think the most destructive thing we can do is to open up those conversations and fight with those people in your lives to try to change their mind. If they think that we're not going to have another election and that they're going to come get taken in the night, you're not going to change
not
their
really
mind.
a discussion that's going to happen there.
You just got to be present and let them know that you care about them as people. I think that might blow their mind. Be or not to be next?
Sure.
All right. Stick around. Wiggins America, the Be or Not the Be, coming up next.
make our own whiskey and our own smoke too. Ain't too many things these old boys can't do. We grow good old tomatoes and homemade wine, and country boy can survive. Country folks can survive.
So HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. I want to talk to you about foundation repair. They have an Invisibeam system. It's a premier solution for wall stabilization. You've got bowing walls in your basement. You want to make sure that that's not going to turn into an enormous structural problem for your home, for your business, wherever that might be. You've got a solution at the other end of a phone call, 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636. Matt Hayes, a very experienced individual in the basement foundation repair entity. You know, when you call Matt Hayes, you're going to get 30-plus years of experience. You're going to get a warranty on the fixes they're going to provide for you that is going to give you the confidence that you've chosen the right place. He's incredibly fair. He's the best in the business. And Matt Hayes can be easily reached to come out, look at your problem before you have to pay a penny or whatever. He wants to know what you're dealing with so he can give you a customized solution to your foundation repair issues, your leaky basement, or even that concrete that's cracked and split and is now uneven. 314-227-9636, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more.
A family member or friend that gets paid weekly. This Medicaid program is available to eligible St. Louis residents.
New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area,
this service is available through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid weekly. So go to freedomcare.com now, or for faster service, call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
Smart talk, strong values. This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, I want to remind you about Brew in the Lou. It is the best time that you are going to have this weekend, and I love this event. It is such a really, really awesome thing to do. Very fall festival-y, and the weather, I think, is going to be perfect for it. It's Saturday at Francis Park from 1 to 5 p.m. Over 80 tasting and vendor stations will line the banks of the Lily Pond, featuring local, regional, and national craft breweries, distilleries, and wineries. General admission is $55 advance. So if you go to brewinthelou.com, let me make sure that's the right website, brewinthelou.com. You can get your tickets in advance for $55. Also, if you want to go tomorrow and you didn't get your tickets in advance, they're $10 more on the day of event. So hurry up. Advance sales close ahead of time. So reach out to them at brewinthelew.com and get your tickets. Admission includes unlimited beer and food tastings while supplies last and a keepsake commemorative glass. This is a really, really fun event. They have VIP tickets, but I don't know if they're still available. Saturday from 1 to 5 p.m., Francis Park, around the Lily Pond. Get your tickets. If you can't go, but you want to support the Lutheran Elementary School Association, which you know I'm affiliated with, I send my kids to Lutheran schools and everything, please consider making a donation at lisastl.org.
Unlimited brews. Wiggins.
In the Lou.
The bee or not the bee.
I stop at 1 because I am friends with everybody after 1.
And he's friends with nobody after 2.
All right, this is this is the bee or not the bee.
Lips.
These are headlines that are either real or fake. Let me know which is which. First one, suspiciously circular stones create chaos at World Stone Skipping Championships.
Real?
Yeah, I think this is real.
This is real.
The news cycle is too fast-paced for
To be
that to be a
focusing on
bee.
this.
Yeah. What?
Yes, this is real. The World Stone Skimming Competition rules are clear. Contestants must use unaltered stones selected from among the island's naturally occurring state. Judges then use a measuring device dubbed the Ring of Truth to make sure that each rock is no larger than 3 inches wide. Unlike the unaltered skimming stones, the stone selections in question appeared to have been ground into more circular shapes in the hopes of improving their bounce potential. That is huge news in the world of stone skipping, or stone skimming as it's called in this competition.
What if we have the market cornered on people who care about that story?
No, we don't. They are few and far between, and they are all over.
Well, maybe that's how we'll broaden our audience on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Maybe I'll put that in the title today, Stone Skipping. See our algorithm just go wild.
I just don't think that's going to happen.
Skimming.
Stone skimming. You call it stone skipping, right?
Skipping,
we
call
all
it skipping,
we all
yeah.
do. They call it skimming. All right. Authorities warn Katie
That's how you know if you're on the inside.
Apparently. Yeah, it's like you call yourself a trekker instead of a trekkie. You didn't even know that one, did you?
Comfortably, no, I did not.
Authorities warn Katie Porter has grown to 600 feet and is currently rampaging through San Francisco.
Like Stay Puft Man. You will vote for me. Yeah. That's no B.
B? B? No, this is real.
No. It is not.
Porter, a front runner in California's
She's
gubernatorial race.
stones in San Francisco, but they're boulders bouncing off the people who are Trump
And her
voters.
big blue ox reportedly began roaring and growing to an unusual size after a reporter asked her a question. You didn't ask her a question, did you? Oh, no, she hates that, cried Mayor Daniel Lurie as the hulking monstrosity smashed a giant hole in the transatlantic tower. There's no stopping her now. Run for your lives. Last quote is, blah, responded Porter before swallowing a cable car.
Man, Katie Porter, you know what's the worst thing you can do to a mean girl?
No.
Have it be wildly publicly discussed how mean of a mean girl people are.
Yeah.
Mean girls are mean because that's their power. They get things out of people because people don't want to be on the other end of that, and there's some sort of level of respect for that. Once the secret is out and people are openly talking about it, nobody can shut up about it.
You've lost your power, Katie.
Yeah, Regina George. Hey, I was going to call her Regina George, but that's a disservice to Regina George.
Seems it.
And the actress that plays her, whose name escapes me, but is my husband's favorite. Rachel McAdams.
Ah, you got it.
Got it.
Chicago mayor hoping his ice-free zones work better than his gun-free zones.
Say that again?
Chicago mayor, Brandon Johnson, hoping his ice-free zones work better than his gun-free zones.
The bee.
It's got to be a bee.
It is the bee, but there's a lot of truth in it. Quote, maybe this method will work this time, Johnson was heard telling his staff. I mean, it felt like a good idea to set up those gun-free zones, but people just keep on shooting folks every day for no reason.
Folks, for the love of gosh.
It doesn't matter how many signs we put up, but maybe, just maybe, if we put up enough signage to let everyone know there are ice-free zones in our city, it'll totally work. Let's stay positive, people. Signs can work, just not for guns, apparently.
FOAKS.
Next one.
Look at those beautiful oak trees.
Oak.
That was inappropriate. James K. Polk? I don't think so.
Well, it's different.
Struggling.
Turning Point USA.
I don't like that point. Moderately good. We're going to pretend it didn't happen. Keep going.
Turning Point USA announces alternative Super Bowl halftime show.
Real.
Yeah, this is real. Turning
excited.
Point is doing their own halftime show. The All-American halftime show will be an alternate to the regular halftime show that will be performed by three-time Grammy Award winner Bad Bunny on February 8th, 2026 at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California.
The Turning Point one is going to feature Joe Biden and the Easter Bunny.
We don't know who will be there yet.
I know.
They have not announced, although people are really pushing for Creed.
Kid Rock and John Rich were doing an event at John Rich's bar in Nashville. So I wonder if this is an obvious melding of at least that sentiment. Because why would they want to compete with each other? That's what I think.
Yeah.
But if you produced, hello, Turning Point, this is what I would do. I would produce. Oh, this is a really good idea, and I'm having it right now, and it's yours to have, and I hope it happens. They're probably already doing this. Do it like New Year's Eve, where there are events happening all over the place, and Turning Point can produce a television show, which is all it is really anyway, so that Turning Point can be in all the area cities with big stages and big guests and festivals or whatever, where musicians can be playing in these places. There could be praise concerts. There could be the Kid Rock country concerts. We'll make fun of Zach Bryan at these concerts. And then you could make the halftime show is 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So it could last longer than that if you wanted it to, but you could have like the big event be during that 15 minutes of. But make it, because if you did it around the country, then you have participation, which can turn into the local schools, like go to Ole Miss. That's where I'd start. Nashville.
And you could,
Arizona.
at those events, actually watch the Super Bowl and then be a part of the event.
You could. You got to pay a lot of money to do that. But
well, that's true. I forgot about that. All right, last one real quick. Trump agrees to designate Chicago mayor's house as an ice-free zone. This is the B. With the mayor determined to create zones where illegal immigrants can escape ICE, Trump announced that illegal immigrants can indeed remain safe from deportation inside Mayor Johnson's house. Quote, you can stay in his house as long as you wish. There will be absolutely no ICE raids, I promise, announced Trump.
Stay right there.
See, I know how to reach across the aisle and compromise. Everyone says I can't, but I just did. The mayor can have an ice-free zone just like he wants. The immigrants can stay, and the streets will be clean. It's a win-win-win.
Win for everybody. Oh, man. All right, thank you for the B or not the B. We're going to do a little bit of Ask Us Anything here before we wrap up the 2 o'clock hour. Stick around. We'll be right back. The Retirement Advisory Group is online at retirementkey.com. Our friend Thomas Helbig and Bob and Tammy Kershaw, longtime partners with us on the Annie Frey Show, but more broadly than that, even 97.1 FM Talk. Their clientele comes a lot from our station. So when you go talk to them, you're basically in a family. The Retirement Advisory Group works with people who are right there at the transition point into retirement. You've got a few years left before you want to retire. You've thought about retiring at a particular age, but now you're thinking maybe you'd like to know if you could retire sooner. Call the Retirement Advisory Group and set up a free appointment with them. When you call 314-993-9494, that's 314-993-9494. The Retirement Advisory Group is going to talk to you about your personal circumstance, what your plan is, what your desires are, and they're going to help you understand how they can work with you to set up a personalized structured income plan that is going to get the job done to give you that peace of mind you need to retire comfortably. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Lights flickering?
Grasser can fix it.
Breaker keeps tripping?
That's a Grasser job.
Outlet not working?
Grasser makes it right.
Old wiring need a rewire?
Grasser rewires with care.
From little fixes to major fixes,
Even the tricky ones.
we treat your home like our own.
Treat? Did you say treat? Woof.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Looking for some iced caffeine, left you in the cold. No one knows why brown water costs as much as liquid gold. Told him your name was Brian, why does this cup say Nicole? But then you found paradise in your cup at the Quick Trip. No regrets to start your day.
If you're thinking about replacing your windows before winter hits, which is smart, don't keep making the same mistake. Stop replacing your failing vinyl windows on your home now with more vinyl. Lakeside Renovation and Design will install Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows. They're built to last, they're energy efficient, plus they look stunning, and they're custom built for your home. Installed by Lakeside's expert team, and they're going to offer a lifetime workmanship warranty. If you're ready to upgrade your windows once and for all, you need to visit windowsbylakeside.com. Schedule your free consultation today.
Sorry, I was just jamming to that song. And then to Lakeside Renovations. By the way, we have a party coming up. It is going to be on the 23rd of this month. You are invited. You can't be a VIP, though. I'm sorry. Those are sold out. You can come, though. RSVP at 971talk.com. It is the 23rd, which is a Thursday at Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield. Rhino Shield, U.S. Men's Medical Center, Lower Wine and Spirits, Old Dominic Distillery, Rayburn Wines among the sponsors of our very fun anniversary party coming up, and we want you to be there. So check it out, 971talk.com. 139, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
From the gateway to the airwaves. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I posted this on my X page at Annie Frey Show, and usually it's political content, but I posted this yesterday because we were driving home from school, and my youngest, my 4-year-old Molly, was just saying the Pledge of Allegiance over and over and over and over again in an 18-minute ride.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Help me, Jesus, every day to show my love in my own way. And that's the ending.
What was the last thing?
And that's the ending.
Oh, okay.
So my daughter says, she says amen after the Pledge of Allegiance.
Love that.
She probably said it over 20 times on the way home. And I was like, I don't know how much I can handle this anymore. But it was really cute. So I videoed it to preserve it. But I wanted to share that with you because it's probably cute for you guys one time. Now go watch it on my Twitter account 76 times. And then tell me how you feel about it.
In the car.
Yes. We had a conversation, I think it was Friday of last week, maybe, was it, Ryan? Where you this is on the YouTube shorts that we have up, but you told the story of your son. You were going to visit your grandma, and you told the story of your son saying to you with the complete and total sincerity from the mouths of babes, how is it that grandma makes you feel so important? And I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about that a little bit because that was last weekend. You're not going to be here on Monday and Tuesday of next week, but I'm really glad that the whole preface of us talking about that, you had said off the air, my grandma and my dad are listening to the show right now. And you said, I think it was going into Wiggins America, maybe?
Yeah, it was. It was last Friday, going into the be or not to be.
And you said, I'm gonna say a few extra things here because my grandma and my dad are listening, and that story came out of it, and I think it's a blessing that we were able to do that on last Friday.
I do too. The timing is amazing. I got a call in May that my grandma was not doing very well, and we were in North Carolina on vacation. I think you were in Hawaii. We just happened to be gone that same week. And I got that call, and I was praying, oh, God, please let us get home so we can see her again. Well, now it's October, and we were still talking about Grandma, so we definitely got to see Grandma quite a bit. But I'm bringing it up now because she passed away Tuesday night because I got to see her Tuesday night. Excuse me. I would go there every Tuesday and Thursday while my son was at soccer practice. We all got to go there Sunday randomly and have communion with her, which was amazing. We didn't know that would be the last time we saw her, of course, because you never know. But, she was in hospice and she was in her house. So we knew that there would be a time. And then I saw her Tuesday night and then got the call Wednesday morning. So
Monday and Tuesday, Ryan is going to be with his family, as he should be. Tuesday, was it Tuesday night or Wednesday morning? Wednesday morning was
when I got the call.
Because it happened late Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
So when we found out on the show, of course, we were like, Ryan, whatever you need to do, if you need to take time off or whatever. And you said you wanted to come in.
Well, I wasn't sure that morning.
No, you played it by ear.
By the time we got to the show, I said, I'm just going to be sitting here.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather come in and get my mind off of it. And I said, though, every time you do an interview, I'm going to step out, though.
Yeah. Well, and we knew what you were dealing with, of course, and you decided to come in, and I told you, like, just play it by ear and whatever works for you. You said it I think it was in the 2 o'clock hour. You're like, I don't know, you were screwed around about something. And you were like, I'm so glad that you came in because you knew you'd be sitting at home and just stewing over it. You just left with your thoughts. So the last couple of days, we've known that here on the show. Monday and Tuesday of next week, you'll be gone with family, as is incredibly appropriate. But we wanted to make sure that people understood that that's what was going on. Our lives are obviously very public. Now, we kind of will let you into certain things, but there are always certain things that are going on with us because we're humans. And so we've got stuff to deal with. And sometimes it's hard to come in here and just like do what we're doing.
When you got personal stuff going on, although that day was actually a blessing. I wanted to be, I would have just been sitting there. Although I'll say last night, man, and I haven't talked about this because I'm not like, oh, look, let's talk. I want, pay attention to me or anything like that. But we talked about it on the show. I'm going to be gone Monday and Tuesday. I figured it was worth explaining why.
Yeah.
And I will say last night, man, I lost it. Because it was Thursday. So I saw her Tuesday. Sorry that I'm going into this. It's just really fresh. I saw her Tuesday and I said, Grandma, I'll see you Thursday, just like usual, And so last night was Thursday. And I pulled into that driveway just to do it, because that's what I do on Thursdays. Just like go through the motions again. It was the first time I knew that I wouldn't see her. And man, I lost it. And my dad happened to call me right at that moment. And I was like, I wouldn't take a call from anybody right now, but I'm taking a call from him. And he was like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. He was going to say, if you want to go over there and you want to go in, it's okay. I can give you the code and all that. And I said, I can't go in. But it was just the timing, man. It was whatever. I'm not saying like good radio things. I'm just telling you, it comes in waves, man. It comes in waves. And there are moments that I'm like, holy smokes, I'm not going to see her again for a while. It's the way I talk about it with my kids, too, because it's the first time they've really ever dealt with a death, especially if somebody close.
I asked you on Wednesday during the show if you had told your kids yet. I think it's important. I don't know if you've mentioned this yet, but your grandmother was 93.
She was 93.
Lived a full, wonderfully blessed life. I saw pictures on Facebook of the family that she was surrounded by. So, like, she's a loved and blessed woman, and you all have been loved and blessed because of her love for you guys. But yeah, I made the comment when we were talking about it off the air on Wednesday. I was talking about the day my grandma died, who was 95. So it's very similar. Lived a full life, and then one day they're not with you any longer. But it's when you're going through something like that, my comments to you was it makes the world feel like it spins differently. Like the gravitational pull after something like that happens of the Earth's rotation feels different to you. And I just remember thinking like you'd go through life and you have this huge just weight of emotion. It's grief is what it is on you. And everybody else is just going through life, living their normal life. They're annoyed by the same things they're always annoyed by. They're happy about the same little things that they're normally happy by. But when somebody is going through what you're going through, it doesn't show if you spent 2 days on the air without talking about it. I think it's a good opportunity to reflect on, we never know what somebody else is going through. Life, the things that stop life in its tracks, like everything around you seems to stop moving and you're looking around going like, do you ever think like, can I pause? Can I go back? Can I just rewind once? Like I'll have those thoughts in my head, like, can I just go back once? Isn't there a way that I can go back? And obviously you can't. Everything that we do and talk about on this show, this is the stuff that's important. No political thing that we're going to talk about is going to cause that lump in our throat when we're talking about it, because family is everything. And you've been incredibly active in your grandma's life. Like you've talked about your grandma on the air, but you've also talked about your grandma a lot off the air. I hope that people understand the value of being in proximity of family, of staying connected across generations of family. Your kids got to know your grandma. Obviously, she was their great grandma, but there's just something special about a grandma. Like you said, your son said to you, how does grandma make you feel so important? The fact that he said that, and then you guys, we just happened to tell that story on the air. You don't know how much that meant to them. My grandma listened to that Friday, to us talking about her on the radio. And then Brad made a video out of it and we showed her and she saw it again. And now shoot, that might actually be at the funeral, Brad. Because my mom was asking for that video this morning, but it's just, I appreciate everybody's condolences. Thank you guys so much. You two in this room, thank you. And thank you all the people who were just commenting. Like, I really appreciate it because it has been a terrific last few months with her. And the fact that she went the way that she did, like, I'm just thankful for all of it. It's so hard, but we're all just bittersweet rejoicing because we know grandma's in heaven. That's why I keep telling, I said this at the beginning of us, I didn't finish it. That's why I keep telling my kids is that I'm sorry for you guys because you're young. It's going to be a long time before you see grandma again. Like, I'm older. I'll see grandma when I get there. You guys are going to have to wait till you get there too to see grandma again. But that it's all about this sort of eternal perspective. And I keep telling them that, like, this is about not just now. This is about heaven. This is about eternity, you guys. And they get it. And it's comforting to know, like when I say that I took communion with my grandma on Sunday, and my whole family just happened to be there when the minister came and said, what do you guys want to do? Yeah, absolutely. Let's all do communion. There is so much comfort in knowing that she is with the Savior. It's good. It's good. Like, this is such a terrible thing to say that it's good. This is a good time. Yeah. It's not terrible. And there is a huge distinction as somebody who, you know, I've gone to my fair share of funerals or whatever, but when you go to one and you get the good news, it far outlasts the bad news. Like, you got to cling to it, and it's an active type of thing that you have to participate in to remind yourself and, of course, to remind your children of the good news. The good news isn't this good until this terrible moment. You're right. It's palpable now that you go. You cling to it. You go. I walked last night up to her house because I was getting a flower from her front yard. I didn't want to go in because I just didn't. And I was getting a flower from her front yard with one of those little hanging stick things because I wanted to put it in our yard for now.
and she has a cross on the outside, and man, that's what did it. That's what did it. I just lost it, and it's in that moment, man, that you're like, it's all real. The faith becomes reality, you know, where you go, okay, I know why I believe what I believe.
In my experience, you know, you're witnessing to your children about this, and you said this is the first person they've lost.
Yeah.
This isn't they're going to be thrust forward in their faith walk because of this. Like I said, that the pain and suffering that goes through losing somebody so close. And, you know, I'm saying this, and I'm bringing up my grandma being 95. This isn't about me, but I do know what it's like to lose someone and go, like, what more do you want from a life? 93 years, like your grandma, 95 of my grandma, you know they're in the arms of Jesus, and they're with the brothers and sisters in Christ that they have loved and have been in heaven and have missed for so long. They are there with them. So you got to, like, wrap your kids up in that good news so that they can really let it soak in, something that I know your children have always known, but like now there's a tangibility to it that's fresh. And then what's going to happen is you're going to be 6 weeks removed from this, maybe 6 years removed from this, and your kids are going to bring up something about grandma, and they're going to witness back to you what you witness to them right now, and it crushes you and it makes you whole at the same time to hear that seed that has been sown in your children that you have helped water over the course of time come back and just blossom right in front of your face. They're incredibly humbling moments. And I know that there are people listening right now who don't. You're like, okay, Annie and Ryan, that's sweet. I get it. But you don't feel like that's for you, and it is. Maybe it's not for you right now, but it is for you right now. You said it's good. How can something like this be good? It really doesn't make sense. One might say it passes understanding and the ability for you to cognitively process how watching your grandma deteriorate since May you said she was on hospice?
Well, she was in hospice, but she was in her house.
In her home care,
yeah.
In-home hospice care. How can you watch somebody deteriorate and be given up to time and the inevitable brokenness of what our world has for us? Like, how is it that at the end of that deterioration, that earthly deterioration, that you could feel that was good? And the truth of the matter is, I don't have the words to explain it. It just is. And I really want that. I want that for other people. I know that you want that for other people. I'm probably the least evangelical person in this room. Like the least charismatic, maybe, is the better way to put it. I'm pretty practical in my LCMS Lutheran faith. You go to a really good Christian concert, you're like, gosh, I have the compulsion to clap my hands, but I can't do it. We do have rhythm. We just don't need people to know. I'm glad you wanted to talk about it. I asked Ryan that day, like, do you want to talk about it? He wasn't ready for it, but thank you for talking about it. This is something that it doesn't matter what people believe or, where they are in their life. They understand what you're going through right now, and they're with you.
Well, I just got a text from my dad that he's sitting in my grandma's driveway right now listening. So he said, replay. I can't believe it. All right. Thank you. Thanks.
We love you, Wigginses. I have nothing snarky to say to you, Ryan.
Once in a lifetime, you don't.
I'm going to write down everything I think of over this weekend, send you some pretty flowers on Monday and Tuesday, and then rip them up and welcome you back on Wednesday. Pray for the Wiggins family. Pray for peace. They definitely have it, but pray for a little extra. We'll be right back.
There's a little bit more that has to
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Consider hiring Matt Hayes, or at least just giving him a phone call to come out to your home and look at the foundation issues that you have. You're not 100% sure what you're dealing with. Well, that's why you call out an expert who can tell you what you're dealing with and the solution that he can provide in order to make sure that that problem is fixed. You can ask them about their comprehensive foundation repair services. They can help you with wall damage in your basement. If there's bowing, shearing, or tipping, depending on the issue, that will depend on the solution. You want the expert of decades of knowledge and great customer service that Matt Hayes and Home Shield Foundation Repair has to come into your basement, so you know you're dealing with somebody who is A, going to do the very best work, and B, going to provide you the best customer service, the warranty that you need to make sure that your investment is a solid one. 314-227-9636. That's 314-227-9636. Call Matt Hayes. Tell him Annie sent you. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Audacy app. Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
All is quiet with our weather for evening plans. Temperatures in the 60s, 49 for the overnight low, mainly clear skies. Friday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, 78 for the high in the afternoon. Friday night, some clouds, 58. Weekend, above average temperatures, but it's quiet. Saturday, sunny and 81. Sunday, sunny and 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Workers are getting fired. Lisa Brady, Fox News, laid off instead of just furloughed on day 10 of a government shutdown, though it's not clear yet how many firings or which programs will be eliminated.
The union representing federal employees is filing a lawsuit to block the firings. President Trump pledged to fire workers and undercut programs important to Democrats if the shutdown continues.
Fox's Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill, House Speaker Mike Johnson.
Open the government, Democrats. That's what this is. We have voted so many times to pay the troops. We've already done it. We did it in the House 3 weeks ago. The ball's in the court of Senate Democrats right now. That's it.
Democrats blame Republicans for refusing to negotiate on health care funding unless the government reopens. A crowd of anti-ICE protesters pushing against police, including state troopers. Outside a facility in Broadview, Illinois, where the state's two Democratic U.S. senators later showed up, condemning the administration's immigration enforcement actions, requesting a briefing in the facility. Until recently, only federal agents were securing that building.
The fact that state police have been so aggressive in handling these crowds over the past week, that is in part why yesterday a
tariff responds to China's restrictions on rare earth exports. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Ah.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it! Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
A deadly
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 56 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance and installation, and heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. AirComfortService.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Oh, yeah, here's the moment you have been waiting for.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom.
Annie's out. Ryan and Brad are in.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
This is the Manny Frey Show.
Well, the history of the Annie Frey Show, I don't know that we've really done this much. Maybe once, maybe twice, where Annie was in part of the show, but not the other part.
Yeah, handful at
so
best.
The last time I can remember anything nearing this was when Annie went to Washington. And that was earlier this year where she got to be in the press room and all that. And so she would be a part of an hour because she's live from Washington, but then she's not here. But as far as being in the studio, she had to leave because she has kids' duties to attend to today. I'm doing the same thing. As soon as we get done, I'm going to a soccer tournament. And we were just talking about something very, very personal to me. So a very strange circumstance where I'm taking over the show now and hosting. So I thought the best way to do this would be, since I'm kind of in a weird emotional spot right now.
Yeah.
Let's interview Lou Ferrigno. If you saw my Facebook, I wish I would have put this on Twitter because so many of you follow me on Twitter who aren't on Facebook. But on Facebook yesterday, I posted a picture of me and Brad and Lou Ferrigno, and it is a very nice picture for Brad. It is one of the worst celebrity pictures I've ever taken because for whatever reason we get.
I could explain that.
We get well, because I'm going to explain it from my perspective.
Well, I'm a good-looking guy, and
okay, that was it, wasn't it? That's
yes,
it.
That was it.
Thank you for your contribution.
You're welcome.
We walk out after being in the studio, and we said, "Oh, yeah, let's take a couple pictures and all that stuff." So Lou puts his gigantic, Incredible Hulk arm.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with who he is, he played the original Incredible Hulk. So he's a giant dude.
Not the CGI.
No, he was just a giant
Yes.
dude. He was Mr. Universe, and he painted him up green, and he was the Hulk when Bruce Banner got mad. So he puts his giant arm around Brad and gives the old Rocky pose.
Yeah.
And then I'm just standing there next to you guys who are having a great time. And I'm like, well, this is awkward. I'm not even supposed to be in this photo, but I just did the interview.
Can I venture a real theory about why that
please.
was? I told you, this is some behind the scenes stuff. You're like, oh, I'm going to interview Lou Ferrigno. And I told you kind of behind the scenes, man, I'd like to be in there for that interview. He's like, you want to come in and run the board? And I was like, sure. So I kind of came in there. You yelled my name, so I came in there right at the last minute. But there isn't a lot to do when we record an interview other than have the mics on and just make sure everything sounds normal. So I was basically in there standing by you with headphones on, taking them on and off, listening. But it's very obvious, at least in my opinion, that I was in there because I was a Lou Ferrigno fan. And
So you think he picked up on that?
I think he picked up on that.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Well, I'm going to play this interview for you here because I thought it was fun. I mean, it's fun to interview him. Now, if you're a little background on him, I didn't know this until that morning. I think I had heard this, but I wasn't really sure that he had been hard of hearing for most of his life.
Yeah.
He got cochlear implants in 2021, so he is able to hear now. But I guess he still does a lot of lip reading. And so that was kind of part of the interview, which you won't be able to see because you're listening to it. But I'll just say this, and then I'll play the thing back. At the very beginning, I thought, oh, this is going to be great. He had 2 handlers in the room with him. Brad's in the room with me. I'm like, oh, this is when I say, hey, everybody, Lou Ferrigno. And I start clapping. I figure everybody start clapping. Not a single person claps except for me, including Brad, who just told you he's standing there doing nothing. So here you go. Here's the interview with Lou Ferrigno on 97.1 FM Talk, the Annie Frey Show. Well, it is my pleasure to interview Lou Ferrigno. Lou Ferrigno is in the studio.
Good
Thank
morning.
you so
How
much.
are you?
I'm sure you're as excited to be here as I am.
Oh, very. Can't wait to see the fans. It's going to be a wonderful weekend.
That's actually what I wanted to ask you about with GalaxyCon in town and you being here for that. I was watching a podcast with Seth Green. You know who Seth Green is, the red-haired guy, child star. He was talking about, and he was with Bill Maher. He was talking about the way that celebrity has changed since he started as a child star in the 80s. And he said that between the 80s and 90s to now, it is completely different because of the connectivity to fans that you have that used to be so isolated. And he said it's so much better now because I can actually meet people.
Well, the difference is that we have what you call pop culture. Because years ago, you had comic book convention. So now the public, men, husband, wife, kids, they come to a pop culture because the fact that you get a chance to connect with the celebrities. You see the latest film, Q&A. It's like a personal touch. It's so different because everyone today knows what a Comic-Con pop culture is.
Yeah, and social media too. And you just be able to talk to people so much more. Is it to you more fun now because of that culture that didn't exist back in the 70s, 80s?
Oh, much more, because the fact that sometimes you own my own dentist, sometimes you have doctors, they dress up as a Trekkie or the Hulk, they come to the convention, because everybody wants that superhero connection.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask you a comic book question. I'm glad you kind of led into that, because this is a very nerdy question, but with Marvel resurgent, you know, Marvel's coming back huge, and you're like the original of the like Marvel superheroes. Do you have a new generation of fans that are kind of discovering the Hulk and going, oh my gosh, and like rediscovering you even?
Oh yeah, because a lot of fans, for example, 3 decades, they see the new film.
Yeah.
But they go back to the original because they told the kids this is the real Hulk. Because when I portrayed the Hulk was human, it's not CGI, it's different. But the fact that my series is so popular because every episode had a message about life. It's different today, so it led to today. That's why today CGI is completely different. You have a bigger storyline with different adventures, the superheroes.
Yeah, I've heard. I heard you on the Mark Cox Morning Show yesterday, talking about the work that you do. You're a motivational speaker.
Yeah, I love to motivate people, especially overcoming fear, maximizing your personal power, because see, everybody is handicapped one way or another. The fact that, it could be any kind of disability, any kind of physical problem, you can attack and fix it.
So GalaxyCon is going on right now. Very, very exciting. This is the first time I think it's been in St. Louis, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. And great lineup. Lou Ferrigno, of course, in studio with us right now. What exactly... what is? I've heard you answer this question already, but I was fascinated when you were talking about it. I can't believe you said you're 74 years old. If I'm 74 years old and I look like you, I'm going to be very happy. What is your workout regimen now?
Very simple. I do machines, high repetition. I train body part twice a week, and I do cardio 3 to 4 days a week, like 40, 50 minutes. And the most important thing of all is eating healthy. Eat good, sleep good, and train good, and don't overindulge like in, bad food, fried food, stuff like that.
Make America healthy again is the movement.
Exactly, yeah.
Have you been in touch with the people running the Maha movement? Have they talked to you?
Well, not yet, because I was on the President's Council of Physical Fitness with Trump about that. The last time he was president.
Right.
Not much came about it, but now because you have Robert Kennedy Jr. advocating health and because this country has a lot to do with obesity, and especially kids taking meth, Venetor, playing with the iPhone, watching TV, not taking action for themselves, doing physical activities. Because when I grew up in Brooklyn, I played handball, stickball, running competition. We didn't have iPhones. It's all about that connection, personal connection. But today it's much more isolated. We need to bring that back.
Mm-hmm. Lou Ferrigno is in studio and in town. If you want to meet him, I saw the lineup at GalaxyCon. My gosh, a lot of great people going to be here. I saw William Shatner. Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Moff Gideon, is going to be here. I mean, it's a great lineup.
You know what's funny? William Shatner is going to be 95 years old.
That is amazing.
He's my hero. I mean, think about it. This man that's still doing Comic-Con is unbelievable, because I think in his time when he was doing Star Trek, they didn't have Comic-Con.
Right.
But today, that's why his appreciation.
But he's the original Comic-Con guy. I mean, it was almost like the industry was created around him and Star Trek, and now he's here. I mean, that's just cool. Let me ask you before we run out of time, though. You're still acting. You're still in lots of stuff. What's the last couple projects you're working on, or what can we look for you in soon?
Well, I did a horror film called The Hermit. He's a cannibalistic pig farmer. He makes beef jerkies out of people. It's like a Hannibal Lecter in the woods. And then I have a comedy coming out. I have an action movie called Hard Redemption, where I play a security guard, and this gang takes over the school. So me and this other guy named Gino Kang, he's a grandmaster. So the two of us, we take on this whole gang. It's great because there's a lot of physical action.
Yeah.
Because I love doing action film.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Are they out? Are these movies out now?
They're all coming out after the first of the year.
Okay, all right. And say the names of them again one more time.
Hard Redemption, and the other one called The Hermit.
Okay, The Hermit and Redemption.
Yeah, and then there's another movie called Flash Before the Bang. It's about this track and field kid that have a lot of opposition against them, try to win the championship. And then if you get a chance, check it out. It's a wonderful film.
Well, Lou Ferrigno, great to meet you. Great to talk to you. I hope it's a fantastic event this weekend. I know there's a lot of buzz about it. So
thank you.
I expect to hear that it's been a great event as we go about this weekend. Thank you for being here. This is Wiggins America. We will be right back.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-234-0633. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now, 800-234-0633.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-234-0633. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-234-0633, or go to oxcarcare.com.
I'm Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway. Fraud and scams can strike anyone. My office works to ensure that Missouri is free from deception and unfair practices. Last year, we handled over 65,000 consumer complaints and returned more than $400 million to Missourians. If you've been a victim of fraud, call 800-392-8222 or visit ago.mo.gov.
Paid for by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
This is Justin Brown with Krentz Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. As retirement approaches, one question matters most. How will you replace your paycheck? With decades of experience, we've helped retirees turn uncertainty into clarity through personalized income planning and steady guidance. Our proactive strategies are designed so you can enjoy the retirement you worked your lifetime for, with clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services. Member FINRA/SIPC. Krentz Financial Group is not a broker-dealer.
Make the most of fall and have an outdoor space that you actually love that's built to last. Lakeside Renovation and Design builds custom decks, screened-in porches, covered patios, and they use these durable, low-maintenance materials like composite decking and aluminum railings. They're going to make sure you have the perfect setup so you can host your family and friends for backyard barbecues or just sit outside and enjoy the morning coffee even when it's raining. Don't wait until the spring to start planning the space that you want to enjoy next year. Start with a free consultation. Visit lakesiderd.com, lakesiderd.com.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm: auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or a delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
Ethan and the Giant Peach.
Okay. That was that one today.
I like that one too.
Okay, before we start, have you ever seen the original Incredible Hulk? The old TV series?
No. So when this is going to sound so disrespectful. It's not intended that way.
To me?
But when we received the email, I think it was Megan Lynch that sent it from KMOX a couple of days ago. That, how do you say it? Lou Ferrigno. Ferrigno.
Clearly you've never
When I saw that email, I was like, why is this being told to us?
Oh, man. I was excited.
I had zero idea who he was.
So you've never seen the original? Still?
No.
Did you ever watch it when you were a kid?
No.
I was just barely old enough that it was still in reruns.
And you're twice as old as me, so.
I'm like 1 year older than you. I remember seeing it just in reruns enough that I was like, oh, I remember the show, but it was not new when I was watching it either.
No,
I didn't want to tell him that. But it was weird because as a kid, I was like, oh, man, this looks awesome. That dude's enormous and green and angry.
Yeah.
And this is going to be fun. And so I tried.
He would like stop cars.
Yeah. And I tried watching several episodes of it. And what I found was, and this is probably over a summer or something. You know, I'm watching the show and I'm realizing, oh, you really can just tune in the last 5 minutes of the show, because up until then, it's just Bruce Banner just being a Poindexter, and the show is actually kind of boring.
And then he just turns green at the end.
And something's going to trigger him at some point.
It does the like zoom when he transforms. It does like the zoom in, and like his shirt rips, and you see this big green muscle come out, and all these other things.
Really, that's the whole point of the show. So for 20 minutes,
you're waiting to get to that point.
For 20 minutes, you're like, don't care about this
at that
plot.
point too. Probably that kind of, those kinds of effects were super new still, so people are like, ooh.
Well, I'm watching it 10 years later.
Okay,
so it's still kind of okay. It's acceptable, but it's not the newest, and so it already felt a little dated when I was watching it.
Sure,
but you watch it now and you're like, dang, compared to even like the Hulk movie they made in 2000, you're like, wow, this is like watching the original Batman. I mean, it's fun at that point. It's come back around full circle that it's actually fun to watch now.
That's awesome.
Anyway, you can get to your stories.
Lou Ferrigno. Not Ferrigno. Ferrigno.
Mark Cox said he was awesome on King of Queens, too, but I never watched that.
Huh.
Just so you know.
I do watch King of Queens on the occasion.
He was the neighbor on King of Queens.
Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Okay. All right. Looking forward to, before I jump into what's going on this weekend in St. Louis, in the area, have to first, I think the entire sports and local yesterday was dedicated to the St. Louis Blues, it being the home opener. And boy, they got marched out of the building by the Minnesota Wild. Was
that ever a game, or was it just over instantly?
No, it was a game. The first 30 minutes was a game, but I mean, the place was pretty empty by the start of the third period.
That's terrible.
It's ironic that Annie asked us that question yesterday too. It's like, would you rather see a close game or a blowout?
So the Blues lost the game 5-0. They were losing. It started off bad because they went on the penalty kill almost immediately, like the first minute of the game. Penalty kill looked strong in the first period. The Wild scored 2 quick goals late in the first period, but overall, it was a pretty competitive period of play. The second period, the Blues had the first 14 shots of the period, and they could not score. With about 6 minutes remaining in the period, I believe, Braden Shen gets called for a hooking minor, and they scored immediately. So it's like, are you kidding me? All of this work that we had put in, we'd looked really good in the second period. We couldn't capitalize, and all of a sudden, all the momentum gone, 3-0. They got away with there was a missed call on a penalty a couple minutes later. They scored seconds after. That made it 4-0, and it felt like the game was over.
I'm
from
glad
that
you
point.
said that because I didn't watch it, and I just was looking at the score kind of as it was happening and going, dang, this is terrible.
Yeah, the score definitely wasn't pretty. A couple of their goals, there were really weird bounces that led to them. But, when you don't protect your goalie, bad things are going to happen. And the Blues had no net front presence last night, both on the offensive and defensive side of the puck.
I noticed when I tuned in, it was already 2-0. And what'd you say? How many shots did they have? Because it wasn't a lot.
At one point last night, the Blues were had the advantage in shots, 24-7.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were losing 2-0.
Okay. Well,
that's
that's
not even like Jordan Binnington was bad. They did not help him out at all. So definitely some things to clean up, no doubt, and disappointing. But you was in the locker room last night in the post game. Frustrating, disappointing, but it's a long season. They know they just have to.
Did you say you were in the locker room last night?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you always there?
When I go to games, I tend to go down to the locker room for post game. Yeah.
Just for fun.
Yeah, just to kind of get an idea. Of where they're at, what they're.
You have press pass.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You're not just walking around.
No, I can't. No, they don't just let the typical fan just walk in.
Ethan Hannaford, Annie Frey Show.
Because I thought that did sound kind of fun. Like I'd do it.
Gary Vood, Annie Frey Show. Mr. Vood.
Oh man,
Mr. Pronger.
If we could.
None of
I
us
will
are
say,
Pronger.
at one point, having never met him in person in my life, Cam Jansen walks up to me. He's like, in the first intermission, like, we got to pick it up. But these boys, they're going to get going. They're going to get going. And then he was gone.
Well, he knew you were press. He was just trying to get the message
I
out.
guess loud and clear. Job well done. Now taking a look at, so the Blues play Saturday night against the Calgary Flames.
Calgary.
I think they're back at home next Wednesday. Thank you for the pronunciation, Brad. Appreciate that. Let's see. What do we have in college football this weekend? Boy, a couple of huge games for our semi-local teams, I like to call them. The Illinois Fighting Illini are hosting the #1 team in the country.
I'm super nervous.
The Ohio State Buckeyes. 11 o'clock kickoff in Champaign, Illinois. This is going to be a tough one, guys. Ohio State has looked really good this year. The best competition that Illinois has faced was Indiana a couple weeks ago, which is a good team, but they got absolutely pummeled by them, lost by over 50 points. So this would be a massive upset. Right now, Ohio State is favored by 14.5 points, so they're not exactly projecting this one to be close.
Yeah, I don't know, Brad. I think this is going to be a tough game for our guys this weekend. Going into this weekend, it's the #1 team, Ohio State Buckeyes. They're not favored in this game. 14 points.
Yeah, Illinois wants to come out and they want to play good, and they hope to play good, and we'll see what happens there. See if they'll be able to play pretty good.
To me, if they come out and give 110% and they still don't win, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is at that point.
Right.
That was really good, guys. The other one being Missouri versus Alabama at Mizzou. You could argue the biggest game in the last 20 years.
You could, Brad.
Yeah.
The Tigers have played in. I will be in attendance for this game.
You going to be in the locker room?
No, I will not be in the locker room, although I probably could have if I really tried.
You should stay in the locker room the whole game. And just sort of wait and see what happens.
Yeah, just
like,
wait.
Which game's going on?
Mizzou or Alabama's?
I don't care.
Which one are you less likely to get pummeled in?
Well, I'll be wearing crimson red.
Okay, so I would go into the Alabama one, and I would just hide in the locker until they all come in at halftime or at the end of the game, and jump out and be like, Gary Vood.
Why are you an Alabama fan?
It's a long story. Let me do the express
No, it's
version.
okay. If it's a long story, it sounds boring.
Express version of it. I have family that's Tennessee fans, young kid, wanted to oppose. And it just kind of grew from there.
That's fun.
I got to respect that.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's really how it started.
Okay.
And it just kind of grew from there. So, yeah, Alabama versus Mizzou, that's going to be a fun one. 11 o'clock kickoff on Saturday as well. It's an absolute crime that both of those games, being as big as they are kicking off at 11 o'clock.
What's the spread on that one?
2.5 in favor of Alabama.
Wow.
So that one projected to be a close one. As far as other things going on, this weekend in St. Louis, Soulard's Oktoberfest is starting, let's see, what time is it? It starts in literally an hour. It starts at 3:30, and it goes until Saturday at 7:30. Brew in the Lou, we talked about that earlier. Annie did a couple of segments ago. That's going to be tomorrow at Francis Park in South St. Louis.
Go to brewintheLou.com to get your tickets. And I think she said if you get them early, you get a $10 discount. So,
Let's
Brew in
see.
the Lou has a great history. That's one of those events that I've heard about enough that I'm like, why have I not been to Brew in the Lou?
It's a great name, too.
Yeah.
Because it rhymes. Belleville's Chili Cook-Off
That
is
doesn't
this
rhyme.
upcoming is this upcoming weekend. What else do we have? Fright at the museum, at the City Museum, is this weekend. So I just kind of spooky mode over at the City Museum. And then this might be my favorite one as far as names go. Ready for this, guys? It's the Booterfly House.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've actually seen that. Okay.
Right now, my wife is cracking up.
Are you a fan? I was gonna say, are you a fan of the spooktacular and all this, the puns that come around this time of year? Because I used to hate them. And at this point, I'm like, the more the merrier.
Yeah, I like them.
So usually, like this, what's going on? I find it on Fridays. I found it yesterday, and I saw this one, and I said, I can't wait to say this on air tomorrow.
Booterfly House.
Booterfly House is at the Butterfly House in Chesterfield from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And they make it scary because this time of year, they train the butterflies to bite you.
And to say boo.
Yeah, they jump out.
Yeah, boo, bite.
They wear little ghost costumes and float around.
That's where they get you because you think, oh, you got me, and then they bite you.
Yeah. Like, oh, wait, this is real. Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of them.
We're really not, we're really not doing a great job endorsing right now, but it's okay.
None of that's real.
Yep, none of it's real.
For liability.
The Savannah Bananas are coming back to Busch Stadium in 2026. The Cardinals announced this on their social medias yesterday. They'll be back on August 21st and 22nd.
Oh, fun.
Next summer, and they'll be facing off against a new team joining the Banana Ball Championship League, the Coconuts.
Where are they from?
Loco Beach.
Where's that? He sounds crazy.
Ethan, I've got a question, a
Doesn't tell
banana ball question for you.
I have another one. Go ahead.
So my brain had always thought this was like the Savannah Bananas was like the Harlem Globetrotters, where they traveled with their opposition. But do the opposite? You're saying there's more teams in this league. Do those opposition teams play one another?
That's the same question I had. I don't know the answer to that.
I would assume that the Bananas are in every game because that's kind of like who they go to watch.
But
is that what you mean?
Why
Like,
wouldn't they make this a full league where every team
With
does
those-
the banana
and
stuff?
with those rules.
Maybe they will this year. Maybe because before it was only 2 teams, right?
Was it the Party Animals was one?
No, there were more than 2.
Yeah.
There were a few teams.
There was the firefighters, right?
But that's a good. I didn't know the answer to that question. Do the Bananas only play every game?
So it was 4, and now it's going to be 6. I was thinking it was 2 going.
Why
to
not
4.
make a whole league where every team is doing all this goofy
if you've
stuff
got
all the
6
time?
teams,
So
you kind of.
Here's the teams. You got the Savannah Bananas. You got the Party Animals, which they're the ones that were in St. Louis last year. The Texas Tailgaters and the Firefighters, and now the new teams, the Loco Beach Coconuts and the Indianapolis Clowns.
I saw their game against the Firefighters on TV, but they weren't doing as much goofy stuff because it was playoffs. So I'm assuming that they do have more than one team playing in every game. But 4 teams
I love
is
it.
not
I
a lot.
love what they're doing with that whole thing.
I do too. I hope that league expands.
Yes.
I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, at this point, that thing's raking in money.
Mm-hmm.
Anheuser-Busch announced last week that Michelob Ultra is now the best-selling beer in the United States, claiming the top spot from Modelo Especial.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I wouldn't
But
have either.
didn't Modelo take that over after the whole Bud Light thing?
I think so.
I thought it was Coors. And I have done every major brewery tour in this country now for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I did Coors last year. We were in Denver. I did Miller this year, just a couple weeks ago, because we were in Milwaukee. And I've done.
Which one's your
Arbor.
favorite?
I liked ours the best. Actually, I liked Coors the worst. Coors has the nicest
Is that in
setting.
Denver?
Yeah, but it's beautiful around the brewery. But then once you go in, it was actually pretty boring.
It's like a big factory.
Yeah, Miller's was good. It was pretty entertaining, and it's got a lot of history. Ours is the best, though, I think.
Anheuser-Busch, in its announcement, cited data from the market research firm Circana, which found Ultra to be the top-selling beer across retail channels over the past year. in becoming the country's best-selling beer. Like I said, it knocks off Modelo Especial, which is owned in the U.S. by Constellation Brands out of the top spot. So they've held that since 2023. And yes, it was Bud Light that previously had that. The Dylan Mulvaney mess happens, and they lost the top spot, and they have yet to regain it.
My son randomly asked me yesterday, I kid you not, he's 11. He goes, Dad, you ever had a Michelob Ultra?
Stop it.
No, I said, like, what?
This sounds like a real story.
And he goes, yeah, it's just what I just saw, I saw a sign for it. I'm like, yeah, I've had one. He's like, what'd you think? I'm like, I don't know, it tasted like a beer. He's like, okay.
Tastes like
What'd you think?
pea water.
One more?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do one more real quick. This
Okay.
one a little bit more not as fun, a little more serious. The Missouri, we talked earlier this week about Catherine Hanaway and the work that she is doing.
Missouri AG.
Yeah, specifically with the St. Louis Sheriff. And the latest news coming out here just in the last couple of hours is that the Missouri Attorney General's office is again asking a judge to suspend Sheriff Alfred Montgomery from office after federal prosecutors filed 5 new criminal charges accusing him of tampering with an investigation into the handcuffing of a St. Louis jail official. The new charges, all felonies, marked a significant escalation of the criminal case against Montgomery, which has pleaded not guilty. Previously he faced a single misdemeanor civil rights charge, which carries a penalty of up to 1 year in prison. Get this. Now he faces up to 61 years.
Oh, so that's an escalation. That started under Bailey, AG Bailey, and I guess it just keeps ratcheting up. 61 years.
No
joke. The charges are going up. All right, we're going to take a short break and come right back with Ethan and Brad and myself for the Annie Frey Show. We're going to be doing What Did I Miss this week? Stick around.
I'll make it, but watch how good I'll fake it. It's alright.
Join us for our annual Trade Day sale. Hook up your camper and join us Thursday through Sunday, October 9th through the 11th at both of our locations at 9001 Dunn Road in Hazelwood or 971 Wilmer Road in Wentzville for barbecue, beverages, and a free trade evaluation. We guarantee at least $1,000 over the national average for your trade-in with purchase of any new RV. Your trade will never be worth more than it is today. We will have fall festivities going on all weekend. Don't miss the fun and spooky good savings. Check out all of our new 2025 and 2026 RVs by Jayco, Keystone, Fleetwood, and Bontrager Outdoors. Mention this 97.1 ad for a chance to win a $500 gift certificate to our parts store. For 3 years in a row, we have won the best RV dealer at St. Louis Post-Dispatch Headliners. And we are your #1 Jayco fifth wheel dealer in the country. Our commitment to you starts when you enter the door. Go one better. Go Apache Village RV in Hazelwood and in Wentzville, October 9th through 11th. Trade value dependent upon condition of trade unit at time of delivery.
Is your car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs, Ox gets it fixed, free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-234-0633. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-234-0633. 800-234-0633. Or go to oxcarcare.com.
Are you looking for a podcast about pro football that doesn't put you to sleep with an avalanche of analytics or insult your fandom with brainless hot takes? Well, hi. I'm Dan Hansis.
And I'm Mark Sessler.
Oh, hi, Mark. And we're the hosts of Heed the Call, the NFL podcast you've been waiting your whole life for.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we do it all with a touch of mirth.
Football is fun. Why shouldn't your football podcast be the same?
Follow and listen to Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
If you or someone you know has a home to sell, call Gloria Lou. That's right, Gloria Lou, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is here with me now. And when it comes to St. Louis area market conditions, what advice do you have for your home sellers in today's market?
Well, most importantly, I understand every seller's situation is different. Some sellers need to sell,
and some sellers want to sell. And a lot of my sellers are looking to buy, and they also have a home to sell. My advice in this uncertain market is to get an upfront written guarantee. That way, you know exactly how much you stand to make with your home sale. My guarantee sale offer is simple. I'll sell your home at 100% of market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Take it from me, Mark Cox, an actual client. Sell with certainty and an upfront guarantee with Gloria Lou. Call 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. And you know, your home is your sanctuary. You need to take the first step to peace of mind with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from the #1 Generac generator dealer in the country, Generator Supercenter. We learned the hard way here in St. Louis during the tornado recently that power can be knocked out. But even outside of that, what if the power grid fails and it's 100 degrees here in St. Louis? You don't want to be that person. Get with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis today. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com. Tell them that we sent you along.
Today's YouTube live chat poll: how do you predominantly consume the Annie Frey Show? Radio, Audacy App, podcast, or the Annie Frey Show YouTube channel?
How do you dominantly do it, and then how do you predominantly do it?
before you dominate
Kind of
somebody, how do you do it?
Did I not say predominantly?
You did. You got
said-
it. You just
you
emphasized it.
Pre.
I wish I would have said no to doing the YouTube live chat, the time check today, because you people are absolutely ridiculous. Well, we're going to be sharing the results to that poll here in a little over 10 minutes or so. So be sure to go and vote on the YouTube live chat poll. The time is 2:38. This time check is brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
From Hillsboro to Highland. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. What did I miss?
What did I miss? All right, Brad, here we go. Let us know what we missed this
All
week.
right,
These
all
are
right.
clips that we did not play.
Okay, so like Ryan said, these are clips that we haven't played yet. And the first one that I want to play is from Trump's roundtable on Antifa. And you're like, Brad, are you playing an Antifa clip? And
Brad, are you saying Antifa on purpose or Antifa?
Antifa on purpose.
Wait, why?
Yeah, why?
Why? Because I don't like them and I don't respect them.
So he
I'm
emphasizing the
Antifa.
Okay.
Antifa. All right. But this is journalist Brandy Cruz, and she actually talked about TDS.
To tell too anyway, because it's relevant to what we're talking about. I'm living proof that you can recover from TDS. I had strong Trump derangement syndrome for probably 8 years. This is one of the reasons I recovered from it. And by the way, it's much better to not have TDS. I'm happier, I'm healthier, more successful. I even think I got a little more attractive after I got rid of my Trump derangement syndrome. Yes.
So did you catch what Trump said there at the end?
Oh, she's saying that to him?
Yes, she's in a roundtable with Donald Trump, and at the very end, she's like, I'm even more attractive. Trump's like, very attractive.
No, I did not. I did not.
So I heard that earlier this week, and I was like, oh, that's fun. I'll put that in the show sheet, play it for Annie. We didn't talk much about the Antifa roundtable that they had. Jack Posobiec, Andy No were a couple people.
Did she give her full story as to what changed her mind?
I think it was like in her investigative journalist. She's like, the way she talked about it was it broke. She had the veil broken by what was going on in Portland versus. She goes, and if they're lying to me about that, or if they're lying about that, what else are they lying about? And that seems to be like the common theme when people have that and they kind of like switch to the Trump thing. Like Brandon Strzok is a great example of that. He thought that Trump mocked disabled people, and he said, I went back and watched it, and it wasn't true. And then it was like, what else are they lying to me about this guy? And now he's one of the biggest he started an organization called Walk Away. And so
how many people did that happen to during COVID?
Oh, geez. Well, I think COVID is why Donald Trump won re-election. The way that all was handled was just, I don't know what the right word is, awful.
Well, that's an interesting take because it's also maybe the reason he lost re-election in 2020. I don't know. Was that still, I mean, this is not that long ago. It's last year. Was that still top of mind for voters, though, in 2024 COVID?
No, but I think it's one of the things that, like, woke people up. Like they went into it, they said, okay, we need to do this. And then they started looking around and like, oh, they're screaming out Florida and all the bodies that are piling up in Florida. And then it wasn't. And they're like, oh, well, they're lying about that. And then I think people started in that pandemic, they started looking with a lot more criticism and critically at the mainstream media, at narratives that were coming out, what people were talking about. And they weren't just taking it wholesale because these people have our best interest at heart.
Yeah, because when you start talking about health, whether it be medicine or food or whatever, that crosses party lines.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really any. We talked about this last year when RFK joined the Trump campaign. We said, well, who is he bringing with him? And the answer was kind of a cross-section of everybody, because it's not that health is a right-wing or left-wing issue.
Right.
It's just an issue. And it crosses over everybody. So I think you're right about COVID. People just sort of, regardless of party, started to go, why can't I ask questions about this?
Right.
Why is all dissent being shut down?
Like, of all things that I should be able to ask questions about, I should be able to ask questions about things regarding my health. And really, I think a bigger thing was the health of my children.
Right.
So anyway, next one I got here for you is this is from, I believe it was Tuesday. We had Chad Pergram on the show, and I don't know if you remember him telling the story about how a shouting match erupted outside the Speaker's office so Ruben Gallego and Mark Kelly, the senators from Arizona, went to Speaker Johnson's house. He called it a photo op. They went there to talk about why he's like keeping the government closed and why they aren't there.
They went to his house?
Not his house, his office.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they were outside his office
minute.
because Pergram was there, and so was Ryan Schmelz, and they went outside his office and they started doing the thing, and Speaker Johnson came out of his office and confronted him, and so did Mike Lawler, who is a representative from New York. A Republican representative from New York, and this is how this kind of went.
With all due respect, you voted multiple times to keep the government shut down, okay? The Republican members from Arizona voted to keep the government open. So don't sit here and try to lecture us about whether or not we did our job. We did our job. You did not.
Well, you're not doing your job right now.
Oh, you mean the bill that I'm signed on to extend it? Oh, yeah, cute, right, because you know what? We actually have put forth legislation to do it. You guys just keep pontificating. How about you go down the hall and go vote to open the government up? That would be great. All right. Here's the clean CR. Go vote to open the government up. Thank you very much.
We're going to have
By the way,
wait a minute.
Mike,
If you bring them back, we will have a discussion with them. It's very simple.
You're holding the American people hostage because you're going to have a
Yes, you
policy
are.
debate.
Yes, you
We
are,
have
sir.
policy debates here every day.
This policy debate,
There's
no
policy
debate when nobody's there.
You're talking to yourself.
Hello, I'm here.
We're having the debate
My
all around
constituents
the
and
clock.
yours, I imagine yours are going to be hurt even worse than ours.
With
these premium increases.
We have a lot of
We have
issues to
fix
work on
this.
together,
When
and the
people-
Republicans
when
are the
people don't have
party.
healthcare,
Wait a minute.
people die.
The
party's
going to kill healthcare. But by the way, healthcare premiums since 2010, when Obamacare passed, have risen by over 60%. So what you're cut now? You're not upset.
So my question, it went on for like 3 or 4 minutes. I just grabbed a minute clip there. So the first person talking was Mike Lawler, and then it was Kelly, and then you could hear Gallego in there, and then Speaker Johnson as well. My question that I have is, like, when you see this or when you hear this, there's a gaggle of press surrounding these 4, U.S. representative or congressmen, congressmen, I guess is how you would say it. But you got the press surrounding them, and
Chest feeding.
they're having a debate with one another. Oh, it's heated, super heated, right? Not screaming, shouting, and things like that, but there is definitely talking over one another and going. It might have been hard to follow if you were listening to that on the radio. But do you want that from your representatives, from your senators? Do you want them having open discussion, open debate like that in the halls of Congress? I've been there. I don't know if you guys have been to the Capitol, but I know exactly where that took place, because when you go through the rotunda, the Speaker's office is just off the rotunda on the House side.
Clearly, I've never been there. Have you ever been there?
I have
Our
not.
opinions do not matter.
Nope.
Go ahead, Brad.
No. Do you want your representative, your senators?
I like it. I don't know that there was great debate happening there. There weren't any. I mean, it was hard to hear, but it backfired on the senators. It backfired on Kelly and Gallegos, because their whole message was, we're going to go there with the intent to not debate because they're not there. Their whole point was, oh, Johnson's not here, and we can't get anything done because Johnson's not here. And they show up, and Johnson's right there.
Yeah.
Ready to debate them.
Out the door, he starts debating. Mike Lawler, another representative there, with Like in the video, he's got the paper. He's like, here's the CR. Why don't we sign on to this and let's get going?
Yeah.
You guys, we've done our part. You guys do yours, and then we can talk about these other things.
So their whole point of doing it was undermined instantly. Now, whether they should debate right there or not, I'm fine with that. I wish they would do this more, because I think what they do is they go to their corners and they don't talk to each other. There's probably a handful of senators and Congress or representatives who probably do keep things pretty friendly, and everybody knows everybody. And when it comes time, they're Republican or they're Democrat. But most of them don't.
Well, I'll
as
say
far
this.
as I know.
I'll say this too. I've had discussions with my friends in that tone. So them having heated discussions just means they're passionate about what they're talking about. It doesn't necessarily reflect poorly on their relationships with one another. They might be good friends. They might go out to dinner afterwards or whatever, have a drink, whatever it is that they do, and squash it and then come back. But I think this is good. I think this is healthy. But I also think that it shows that tensions are rising on Capitol Hill, and we may not be in this shutdown much longer.
If you saw this kind of format constantly, all the time, from my representative, I think that is where you would probably tend to lose me, because then it feels like a publicity grab. But this doesn't feel like that. I guess I should say, if it happens on the occasion, I don't think it's a big deal, because I think it is important. I think it is good to give the public an idea, or at least some sort of idea, that these conversations are happening. For them to know that it is good. But if you're posting every single conversation that you're having and you're making it intentionally in public all the time, that feels like a different thing.
Yeah, and to that, about if you're posting your own, none of these people posted their own.
Right.
This was from the press. I believe this video might actually have been Ryan Schmelz's video.
Yeah, but if you're, I'm saying if you are putting yourself in that position constantly for it to be in the public, rather than let's go talk about this behind closed doors.
That's not going to create any sort of dialogue if you're just doing it for camera.
Right.
But I think you're right. And Scooter says, no, this was an ambush. They knew he was there. I don't think so, because otherwise they would have had they would have had microphones. They didn't have that. They were just there to kind of do a little press briefing.
Oh, it's happening.
Look, their whole point over and over and over has been the Republicans aren't in town. They did a whole video where all their representatives walked around the House of Representatives and just showed that, Republicans aren't here. Republicans aren't here.
And this happened one other
video.
This sort of thing happened that same day again later on with Hakeem Jeffries after his presser. Mike Lawler confronted him because Hakeem Jeffries' whole press conference was the Republicans aren't here to negotiate. And Mike Lawler went up to him and was like, I'm right here. Here's my bill. Let's go on it.
All right. Thanks, Brad. We got one more segment before the top of the show here, and then Mark Reardon will take over. If you want to know the results to this poll, stick around. The question is, how do you predominantly consume the Annie Frey Show? Radio, Audacy App, podcast, or YouTube?
Predominantly.
Now, YouTube is probably going to have a little bit of advantage here because you have to vote on YouTube. So we're going to factor that in. And by we're going to factor that in, I mean I have no clue how we're going to do that, but we're going to. 250. We'll be right back with the results of that poll. Stick around.
25 years of 97.1 in St. Louis. Here's Jimmy Fallon.
Annie Frey, Mark Cox. I mean, you guys have a stacked deck. You got that Jimmy Fallon guy later in the day, but you know what? You drink a little bit at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery, you'll get through a show. Congrats on 25 years.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
More and more now, I'm hearing when all my customers that are calling and setting up appointments for looking at different types of furnace and air conditioners, they're calling in because of all the years that I've said there is a common sense approach, and they want to see what that is. Well over 95% of the people are very happy that they did call me. I'm not saying that they purchased anything from me, but they're extremely happy that they did call me. It's not being cheaper, it's being explained in such a way to where they can make an honest decision for themselves and their family and what's best for their pocketbook. When you start getting prices for new furnace and air conditioners, call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Again, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Annie Frey is back because truth doesn't take a break. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We don't have a whole lot of time here. We have to get the results of this poll, but I do want to mention this story real quick because I grabbed it and I thought it was pretty interesting. Most adults can't differentiate between authentic and AI phishing emails, new survey shows. When shown a phishing email, only 46% of survey respondents correctly identified that it was written by AI. So remember those days when you'd get messages from somebody who clearly had English as a second language and they were trying really hard to convince you that, you know, they were in need or they were your cousin? I just pulled one of those up today that whenever somebody contacts me, why are you playing this?
This is a request.
Oh,
Annie asked us to put this in today.
Oh, because we don't have out music. Because we have the... you have to play it now.
You were like so confused.
I'm like, what are you doing? Why do I have a music bed right now? Well, anyway, so those emails that you used to get that you could obviously tell that it was not somebody you knew, that's changing because AI is now telling you, oh no, I am your aunt, and it will use your own, like, her posts to speak in her language.
I always worry about getting, because I get phone calls where there's nobody on the other end. It's like, are they just trying to record my voice?
Just wanted to make you aware. All right, it is almost the end of the show, so let's get the results of this poll. Here it is. How do you predominantly consume the Annie Frey Show? Radio, Audacy App, podcast, or YouTube? For me, it is in room.
It is also in room for me.
Brad, do you want to respond to this one?
Yeah, it's in room.
In room? That wasn't an option, so what's the second best?
259 votes on the YouTube live chat poll. 2% saying podcast, 13% saying the Audacy app, 41% saying the radio, and 44% watch right here on the YouTube.
See? It's because they're already on YouTube. It's a skewed poll. Just like those polls coming out of Virginia.
Which
I got
ones?
nothing left.
Don't worry about it. There's like 8 seconds left. Mark Reardon coming in next. This has been the Annie Frey Show, at least for the last hour. We'll see you on Monday.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty